gave her a cave, a high hat, a piccolo, and a cane. Highfalutin hat, you can take it off, you can highbrow. Highfalutin hat, you can take it off, you can highbrow. Made a little old down, and her made a little old down, and her head went round and round. Whoa, she thought I was okay, so she stepped off that train with a high hat, a piccolo, and a cane.
Hello everyone and welcome to a stream. Fear not, the sub goal is not actually 1,000, because we would never be able to do that. Oh, wow. Well, I'll have to get to that in a second. We just reached the level 5 hype train in about 5 seconds because MMO Addicted just gifted 10,000 bits. We're doing bingo, yes, but we'll get to that in a second. The sub goal is sub points, not actual subs. I'm not sure how many points you get per sub, so I just set it as that as a test. We'll see. Okay, let's get to all this stuff. PandaMan1994, thanks for subscribing for 3 months, says 3 months hype. That lady that lives here, thank you for subscribing at tier 1. Lord Necro JZ with 20 bits says, just got my second Pfizer injection, ready to kiss those homies goodnight. Pyromancer with 56, or Pyromancer 56 with 20 bits says, hype start. MMO Addicted with 10,000 bits says, new Danzy sings, I lobby humbly, also celebrating getting the new limited edition Warhammer book. Oh, nice. Maybe. I'll think about it. Does it only go up one? I'm definitely gonna have to change this. Hold on. Sushi Bomb says, hugs and kisses, Hannah. I'm off to my road trip with the kids. I'll miss you guys, but I'll post the pictures to Twitter.
It's 1 sub point per sub.
Yeah.
And then a tier 2 sub is 2, and then a tier 3 sub is 3.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll reset it appropriately. Thank you. Overthought with 25 bits says, happy Holy Zombie Days Eve, all. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow is Easter. I forgot. History Chick 96 says, good evening. Good evening to you as well. Krizia, thank you for gifting or subscribing at tier 2 with a 6-month streak. Says, hi, Hannah. I'm moving into a new place with a friend soon. Super hyped. I'm happy for you. Guar Stoneskin, thank you for continuing your gift sub. MW1642, thanks for 200 bits. RTK142 says, nothing significant to say, so yay for April. Yay for April indeed. 0M80 with 100 bits says, my company sent me to Los Angeles, those bastards. Why is that, those bastards? That sounds okay. Hold on, let me deal with my Streamlabs thing so I can reset the, all widgets. Sub goal. End goal. April. Sub points. Goal. Let's set this at 400. We already had 1, so let's start at 1. 4, 30, 20, 21. Sub points. That'll do. Wagroads 13 with 200 bits, thank you. So here's the deal. I should turn this down a little bit. Okay, so here's the deal. Today would normally either be like a Sovereign Citizen Day or, see, the sub points aren't going up either. Something's just wrong with Streamlabs. It doesn't count my subs for some reason. It's very annoying. Thank you, MW1642, for gifting a sub to Dude Spanking Dudes. 0M80 with 45 bits says, because now I have to deal with LA traffic all day now. I guess that would probably be a pain in the ass. But I didn't want to do Chud Watch today. It's the beginning of the month. Last month, I had a goal, which I didn't talk to you guys about because I didn't want to push anyone into anything. But last month, my goal was to make, like, the most I've made on Twitch ever. I succeeded at that goal. Thank you all for the support. I appreciate that a lot. which is why I took Thursday off, by the way. I was just kind of blown out, so or burnt out, so I wanted to kind of, and I needed a little break from, Chud Watch. So we're not doing Chud Watch today. We'll be back at it Monday, back into the Chuds. We'll cover the Matt Gates stuff. I'm keeping an eye on it, I assure you. I'm not completely unplugged. I just didn't feel like talking about it for a couple days. I wanted to do stuff that I find fun. So, put on the maid outfit. You know, if I had a maid outfit, I would, just for you guys. But, no. So today we're going to be doing Tinfoil Tuesday stuff just on a Saturday because I felt like it. And it's my show, and I wanted something that I enjoy. So we will do that today. We're going to play bingo, and the winner will win a bingo thing, just as always. 200% of the level 5 hype train. Thank you. Don't think this will ping copyright. Let me see. I mean, these are jokes, I think, so probably good.
Were cut from WandaVision for having too many spoilers.
Spoilers for WandaVision. MO Addicted says, I will grant you a stay of execution then, Hannah Banana. Mike Mack says, hey Hannah, is there a tinfoil video about Torchwood episode where aliens try to take kids away to use them as drugs and the government having no other option, giving in to their demands? I recently saw this episode, and all I can think of is tinfoil conspiracy people, like Call for an Uprising, will view something like that as predictive programming. I haven't seen anything about that now. Lord Necro Jay-Z says, stoners of the Stray unite. Synchronized hit in 5 seconds. So it's fine, but it is pinging copyright on this. But it's fine, I'll just have to delete it from the YouTube VOD.
Did we get a dog, black and white and vibrant hue?
If you're ever gonna send me something, here's a hint. Go into the description, go down. If there's anything like this that says music in this video, don't send it to me. PK the Lost, thank you for subscribing with 9 months sub baby time. Let's go. With Martha to save us from Batman versus Superman. Okay. Let's do the actual conspiracy stuff. Let me get to the bingo card. Make sure you get your bingos ready if you want to play. Trump sanctions pizzeria Pizzagate confirmed. I did see that. I saw the thing. Mike Mack says, I hope they introduce Franklin Richards and Molecule Man in the MCU, mostly Molecule Man since he is in every universe. I want to see a battle between reality warpers because that'll be epic. I don't have confidence in them being able to do reality warper versus reality warper in any way that would be interesting. And I like the MCU a lot, but I don't know. Franklin Richards, even Wanda, it gets a little, like when you get to the point where you have heroes who can just like completely warp and change reality to their whim at any point, kind of makes the stakes iffy, or you have to write a really contrived reason that they can't just fix any situation at any time, you know? At least within the MCU so far with Wanda, it's pretty clear that she doesn't have like a handle on her powers to the same extent as like House of M, you know, Scarlet Witch or whatever. But I don't know. It's a thing you got to write around, and I'm fine if they want to make her not quite as powerful. Franklin Richards, that's a bad idea. Franklin Richards is a really bad idea to introduce to the movies. MH Dark Beast, thank you for gifting a sub. See, the sub thing still isn't going up. I don't know why it's doing that. That's annoying. House of M movie would be fun. Yeah, they gotta introduce mutants first. But then, sure, yeah. Oh god, you scared me.
It only counts new subs.
What?
It only counts new subs.
Oh, okay.
Like people that are subscribing that haven't been subscribed before.
Gotcha. So it's the same as the other one, so I don't even need to do sub points instead, because it's basically the same thing.
No, the other one counted everybody.
I know. No, the other one did not count everybody, because a lot of the time it wouldn't count them.
But it still counted subs even if it was people that weren't new.
No, it didn't, because it didn't count resubs.
I don't think so.
I sit here and I watch it, so I know. I don't know why you're rolling your eyes. I sit here and I watch it during the streams.
Whatever.
I'll switch back to the other one. MMO Addicted, thank you for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. 1 sec, let me switch this back again. Okay, let me switch this one more time. I'm gonna keep this at 300 like last month. We already had 1. And after for 30, 2021. Nobody spoil Falcon and the Winter Soldier yet, okay? I haven't seen the newest episode. I'll be mad. Okay, we should probably get into the actual stuff now. What do I have pulled up for today? We have RV Truth. We have Globebusters. Oh no, they got a song. Globebusters has a brand new hit single. Should we check it out?
Biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these fake stories without checking facts first. Unfortunately,
Because of you, we're in this mess.
God damn it! Why is it always I gotta revise the bingo card? Because Misunderstanding They Live is like, it's up there with Misunderstanding the Matrix. Is Steven Crowder getting banned or not? I know he got suspended and demonetized. I don't know about banned. MMO Addicted says, yes, Queen, give me some bangers.
Forever you will acquiesce. How you love to be deceived. Whatever they tell you, you believe.
Oh god, it's an anti-COVID denier person too.
You are blind.
No! Don't put on a They Live mask if you don't understand They Live.
Critical thinker you are not. Never independent thought. But stick to your paradigm. Hypnotized with pantomime. Regurgitating all you hear. Spread your terror. Spread your fear. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boon of tyranny. Begging for your slavery. They who have remote control. The TV know your very soul. Tune into the great deceiver. Television watching news believer.
As opposed to you fine gentlemen who believe flat earth YouTube channels like Globebusters. Truly, the bastion of independent thought.
Inject your poison, wear your mask.
Please wear a mask. Yes, we're in the middle of a global pandemic still. Not even in the middle. We're at the tail end. Please wear your mask, okay? My appointment for my first... Oh, by the way, I have an appointment for my first vaccine Friday. So if people could not give me COVID until at least Friday, that'd be great. This should hurt them, not us. MMO Addicted says, by bangers, I mean shit that makes even me think I can sing and hate my voice less. Also, I finally dressed up for the first time in a year. I'm slowly easing myself out of my quarantine depression funk. I'm glad.
All they have to do is ask. never questioning authority, blindly following like sheep.
Anytime anyone agrees with anyone, they're a sheep. My doctor told me that if I didn't stop smoking, I'd get lung cancer, but I don't listen to him because I don't want to be a sheep.
Yes sir, no sir, freebacks, fool, you television watching fool. Yeah. Never your mind to be free, never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boon of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, the teeth know your very soul. Turn into the great receiver, television watching news believer.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. Extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is 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 extremely dangerous to our democracy.
In their world forever locked, into their world forever boxed.
I like the juxtaposition between how nefarious they're trying to make people who work in the medical field out to be with their, light, silly TikTok videos. Truly, the face of your oppressor.
Reality you leave behind, a prisoner of your own mind. Forever you will be deceived, never ever to be free. Yeah. Never your mind to be free, never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boon of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control.
Wearing PPE is literal slavery. This is not disrespectful to people who actually have ancestors who were enslaved. Don't worry about it. Mike Back says, people misusing They Live in the Matrix reminds me of the episode of South Park where the boys created a disgusting book and both party sides were putting their views on the book. MMO Addicted says, fun vaccine fact, on April Fool's our government broadened vaccination criteria. Then they went, oops, we had an error and canceled all appointments including mine and my mother's. I managed to get hers reinstated fortunately, but no clue when I will be getting the jabberoo. Ew. RTK142 says, so what do these people do for entertainment? They watch Flat Earth YouTube. Towing24 says, this dude is complete. Well, why? I'm not going to comment on this guy's sexuality as if it's a insult. Why would you do that? Purple Nickel says, I hate how catchy this is. Oh, I think this sucks. I don't think it's catchy at all. Profane Priestess says, mind if I share the cute birthday gift one of my partners got me yesterday? Sure.
Television watching news believer. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boon of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, the TV know your very soul. Tune into the great receiver. Television watching news believer.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Oh, Globebusters. Why do? 080, thank you for gifting a sub. Appreciate it.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Bob from Globebusters here. And for those of you who were wondering what happened to our show, well, unfortunately, YouTube and their ongoing policy to stifle the First Amendment and create an Orwellian society.
YouTube literally cannot stifle your First Amendment right. YouTube is not the government. That's not what the First Amendment is.
Orwellian society has decided to, take it down because they thought that we were giving medical advice, when in fact we disclaimed that quite clearly. But whatever.
We said we weren't giving medical advice, and then we went off on a bunch of anti-vax nonsense. As long as I disclaim what I'm doing, then I can still do the thing, right?
So we will, about of their infinite wisdom. And so what we did is, at the time of the broadcast, it was already being broadcast on DLive as well. And I have also just uploaded it to Odyssey.com, which is a kind of a subset of Library. So the links are in the description.
Conspiracy theorist, we hate Twaronu. Don't know what that means. RTK says, that was some straight up Sinclair. You must read this shit at the end. That was actually a clip from Sinclair Stations. 10 things you never learned about the globe, according to Globe Busters. This is an hour long. We're not going to sit through the whole thing, but I did want to kind of see what this video was. Oh, is it not even going to be talking? Is it just boring text over for an hour? If I want to read a book, I'll read a book. I'm not going to sit through an hour-long YouTube video that I have to read through. No offense. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Offense. I don't like Globebusters. Let's see what CC's up to.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris. From New York, Westchester County. It's April 4/1/21. Welcome, guys. Did you get out of that deep, dark winter? I bet you did, huh? Everything all right? No casualties? You know, I feel sorry for the sleepers, as I was once among them, too. But not in the way that you would think. In kind of a different way. Knowing that something is wrong, but yes, there was nothing there to really... Well, I'm just saying I was there. But I do feel sorry for the sleepers. It must be exhausting being them right now.
He is
Especially
saying
now.
He is saying he's woke. He uses the term woke to mean flat earthers.
You know, before you only really had to worry about earthquakes and meteors and possibly an alien invasion. Or...
You're worried about an alien invasion? Like for realsies?
Or some world war.
I think I saw a documentary once where Jeff Goldblum in the 90s saved us with an internet virus, so I think we're fine.
Or some other nonsense that you could think of that, or the media will think of, because they can't think for themselves. They need the media to think for them. That's the problem. Anyway, it must be really exhausting now because they're just scaring, and I'm talking about the media, the shit out of everybody with coming up with, well, at least here in New York. I don't know what it's like in your state, but they just keep trying to scare the shit out of people now. Other variants of this. Many others. Many others.
Yeah, that's what happens with diseases when they spread from person to person. They mutate, and different things happen when they mutate. It can become more virulent, it can become more deadly, all sorts of different things. That's how evolution works.
Now they're saying 3 out of 4 people have a variant. So the sleepers are really going to feel good going back down to NYC, right? Yeah, my ass. They say there's only 10% of the workers are working there right now. 10%! Do you know what that means? That means the city is a ghost town.
Okay, that's probably good. New York City is one of the highest density areas in the country, if not the highest. I haven't actually looked into it, but let's see. Most densely populated U.S. cities. Looks like, yeah, all the most densely populated areas in the country are in New York City, which is really, really bad for a pandemic or any sort of virus like this, because the closer in proximity you are to other people for longer periods of time, the higher likelihood something's going to spread, not just from one person to another, but throughout the community as a whole. So, yeah, It's good that fewer people are interacting with other people in New York City, a center where, of course, it can get really, really bad. Makes sense.
There's nothing going on. And they keep scaring the shit out of people over and over and over again. And they buy it. Which goes back to, it must be exhausting being them. I mean, really, I'd be pulling my hair out. I wouldn't know what to do. I mean, are those gloves safe?
Chris, you think it's stressful being a normal person living in the reality of a global pandemic? You think the world is flat and that everyone is lying to you. That's gotta be stressful. Not that the amount of stress has anything to do with the reality of the situation, but it's just weird to me that that's your criteria. Chris, it is stressful living in the middle of a global pandemic. It is, but it's also reality. You don't get to tune out of reality just because you find it stressful.
Are the face masks safe?
Yes.
Is any of it safe?
Yes.
Are you washing your hands 65 times a day?
I'm washing my hands when I go out or use the bathroom like a normal person. Are you not washing your hands, Chris?
What about your nose? Are you putting anything inside your nose, like an alcohol swab, perhaps? Because
What? That's definitely not something that's recommended for multiple reasons, up to and including it would dry out the membranes of your nose, which I would imagine would not be good for you. Hello?
Did he just ask if people are putting alcohol in their noses?
Yeah. I feel like that would probably make you more susceptible to a virus because it would dry out the membranes and, like, lead to, like, cracks and shit.
It would make you really, really, like, uncomfortable.
Yeah, it would be bad.
You're not supposed to huff alcohol.
No. Maybe that's what Chris has in his little vape. Maybe he vapes alcohol all day.
That's like how you kill yourself.
Yeah. It's better than boofing. But hey, if it's good enough for a Supreme Court justice. Love you.
Love you.
things do get inside the naval cavity, are you protecting yourself from that? Have you taped your doors? Have you taped your windows? It must be exhausting being them, not being able to breathe the air and thinking that it's poisonous. It must be exhausting. It must be exhausting. What about water? What about the pool? What about the ocean?
You should not be swimming in a public pool right now. I imagine they're closed anyway, but no, Chris, you should not go swim in a public pool right now.
You know, I get nervous about the hypodermic needles that are floating around Jones Beach. When every once in a while, you know, a boat, a hole or something like that happens, and then all of a sudden all this dumping ground for hypodermic needles and shit like that. That's what I worry about at the beach.
Okay, you can worry about more than one thing at once, you know that, right? Like, if a beach was empty and there's no one else around, you're fine. I think a while back, Jake and Sarah, some months ago, went on a little, like, vacation up north, but they weren't around any other people. It was them and their dog Darwin, and they went to an empty beach and just hung out for the day. And that's fine, right? They weren't around other people at any point during their trip. But if you're going to a beach with a bunch of other people around, again, densely populated beach, that's an issue because person-to-person transmission is a concern. It's not the beach itself, Chris. It's the potential for transmitting a disease from person to person.
But what about the water? Is it safe? Is any of the water for that matter, safe? Because I got news for you. Your water's coming from the reservoirs that are completely open to air.
Yes. Yes, they are. Do you understand how anything works? How do you think this works? I'm so confused.
Air. The air that we breathe. Apparently we can't anymore, but it's the air that we breathe. But it's funny because things do have a curfew. You know, it's just...
The curfew is so people don't go out to, like, bars and stuff, and restaurants, and to make sure they aren't, like, getting 3 a.m. booty calls to go, I don't know, Tinder date or whatever.
Exhausting. It must be exhausting being a sleeper right now. I don't even know how they can function. They must just, they should just go back to sleep. Just go back to bed. Go back to bed, just sleep. Sleep for another 6 months.
That actually sounds great. Can someone tell me how to do that? I'll Rip Van Winkle my way into the rest of the year.
Maybe it might be over in 6 months. I don't know. Maybe things might be back to normal.
Probably. We're actually doing pretty good in terms of vaccination in the U.S., despite these idiots. Let me take a look. How many people in the U.S. have been vaccinated? A third of U.S. adults have received at least one dose of the vaccine. That's excellent. Like I said, I'm getting my first dose on Friday, at which point I'll make my appointment for the second dose. That's good. Hopefully in around 6-9 months, things will be getting back to normal. That'd be excellent. That'd be wonderful, Chris. And it'll be no thanks to idiots like you. You will do nothing but extend how long it takes because you refuse to take medicine like an adult.
I highly doubt it on the rate that we're going. But it must be exhausting being them. And I emphasize that. What about the clouds? How far is the air poisonous? Can we go up 40,000?
Chris, the air itself isn't poisonous. It's the potential particulates in the air that get breathed out by people who aren't wearing masks. People like you. So it's not the actual... How do I put this? It's not just the air that's floating around randomly outside. It's not going to stick around that long. It's when you're in a close quarters with someone, like in a Walmart or some other store, and people are breathing very close to you, and they breathe out particulates into the air if they're not wearing a mask or wearing it improperly. And then those particulates end up in your face holes because those particulates have potential to carry the virus. That's the issue. But like if you go outside, you're probably fine, provided you're not like directly next to someone and breathing into their face. It's good.
1,000 feet, 25,000 feet. Is it coming from the ocean? Is it here?
No.
Here in your apartment?
Probably not, if there isn't someone also in there who also has it.
What about the HEPA filters? Have they been tested?
I honestly have no idea.
We haven't heard much about the HEPA filters in the planes, have we? Are they still safe?
I don't know. You probably shouldn't be traveling via plane right now if you don't absolutely have to anyway, and you should be wearing a mask if you're on a plane.
With the variant? These are all questions sleepers should have, because it's very serious. And these are all problems that you have to deal with. All questions that should be brought up to a professional.
Many of which have been, but you don't believe professionals? So, kind of a disingenuous question, isn't it?
And who do you have to talk to?
Doctors. Doctors? Doctors. About this? Doctors. Doctors? Doctors.
Dr. Fauci? Where is he now? I haven't heard from him in a while.
Okay, let's see. Here's an article from one day ago, where it's a statement from him yesterday. Here's a statement from 2 hours ago. Here's from an hour ago, a day ago, 10 hours ago. Did you take even 5 seconds to look this up, or you just saying stuff? Because, you know, you can have the ability to make words come out of your mouth, but if those words are based on absolutely nothing true, then you're just bullshitting, and you don't want to do that. It's not good for your credibility.
Is he still around? We care about one thing, and that's flat Earth. This is nothing. This is
apparently viruses don't exist on the flat Earth or something. It's so weird because the two are not mutually exclusive. Like, you shouldn't believe the Earth is flat because it isn't, but even if you did, nothing about flat Earth says that diseases don't exist. The germ theory of disease would still be a thing.
Something that's been put out there for the sleepers. Back in 9/11, the demolition.
Isn't Trump supposed to be president tomorrow? I think Peter did do a video about that. He never put that at like a high chance or anything, but that was one of the dates he said yes.
They did come up with one rule in New York that everybody abided from, and you pretty much didn't have a choice, and that was your driver's license. You had to show your driver's license to everybody around. That's it. You wanted to go into a building, court building, or anything like that.
Yeah, they're contact tracing.
Sometimes even a library, or a school for that matter. You had to show your driver's license. You had to show your ID. You see, now that was 20 years ago, okay? And everybody bowed down to it because we had no choice. See, now the next phase is now going to kick in, okay?
Oh my god, the Droogs from... I don't know if you guys saw the Space Jam 2 trailer, but they're putting a lot of Warner Brothers properties in it. Like, there's the Night King from Game of Thrones over there. There's some zombies, generic cowboys. There's a dinosaur from the Flintstones. Looks like Captain Caveman is up on the post. We got the Scooby Gang. The Mystery Inc. up on their mystery machine. Looks like Catra's over here. And we have... Oh boy, let's look. We have one of the guys from Mad Max Fury Road, and then we have the goddamn Droogs from A Clockwork Orange. If you had told me 10 years ago that the gang from A Clockwork Orange was going to appear in a Space Jam sequel, I don't know about that one. That's a movie with multiple rape scenes. That's a movie with multiple graphic rape scenes. And they are watching Bugs Bunny and LeBron James play basketball with Scooby-Doo. Weird world, huh? Let me see. The Mask, The Penguin, Men in Black. Jesus. Someone had fun filling out that background.
A lot of people say we're on like phase 4 or phase 5, whatever the fuck it may be. I don't really give a shit. But the next phase is the most important phase. And that's the
Space Jam sequel just has fictional characters in the same world. Yeah, all Warner Brothers properties, it looks like.
Phase you're going to have to be questioned with.
Still waiting on that Space Jam review. Maybe I'll review Space Jam 2.
That is going to be the phase that is going to wake everybody up. When these sleepers, at least, when they say, I thought I had a right. Not all of them, of course, but a majority of them will finally wake up and say, I thought I had a right of what I put inside my body. But you don't have any rights, because now you're being forced to do it.
Chris, there is not a vaccine mandate. I kind of think there should be, but right now there isn't. No one's forcing you to get a vaccine. They probably should, and you definitely should get it to protect yourself, your family, your loved ones, and honestly everyone else in society. You should. But if you don't want to get it, currently there's no law that says you have to. However, don't be surprised if you have consequences for that. If there are stores or whatever that say like, or if you can't ride on a plane without it sometime soon in the future, at least for a while, don't be surprised. You're an adult, Chris. You're older than me. You're probably double my age. You should know that your actions have consequences. Okay? You need to learn that you're allowed to do what you want within the law, but there are social consequences for when you do something that other people deem shitty. Not a hard concept to understand.
And the only way you are going to stand up to do something is to wake other people up.
He does. Cece's married. He has loved ones.
That's bottom line. I don't care. If they are going to force you to put something in your body when we and our Constitution have nothing written inside of there that is said that you have to do something that the higher up says you have to do.
I mean, they kind of do. The Constitution does give legislative power to Congress, and anything not determined by, like, federal Congress gets punted down to the states. So, yeah, you do have to obey the law. The Constitution says that. Sorry.
Especially injection. Nothing.
That's not really what the Constitution says either. The Constitution as a document empowers the government to do certain things, legislate, run courts, run the military. But a lot of the stuff in the Constitution is specific restraints on the government. It basically says the government cannot do this, 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 and that, at least in the amendments, like the Bill of Rights. Like a lot of the articles are about, here's how the government functions, here's how the legislature work, here's how taxes are going to work, more or less. But then a lot of it is, here's what the government can't do. That's not typically how it works. There is an amendment also that says, like, hey, just because it doesn't say it here doesn't mean we can't legislate it later. Like, we have a lot of amendments to the Constitution. And things that aren't legislated by the federal government are within the purview of the states, as long as they don't conflict with the rights laid out in the Constitution. Supremacy clause, but also the states have autonomy to a certain extent.
But yet there it is. It's out there, and it's happening. It's coming, okay? You will not be able to go to a baseball game. You will not be able to go...
That would be at the behest of the organization that runs the baseball game. If the MLB decides that you need to have something that says you're vaccinated to go to an MLB game, to go to a Tigers game or a Red Sox game or whatever, then that's within their right to do so. They're a private business.
Going to college. You will not be able to have your kid go to school.
Yeah,
something...
Maybe. That's a public safety issue. It wouldn't surprise me if certain schools in certain states decided to do that.
Tells me there's going to be a lot of homeschooling going on in the near future. And if you don't think this is...
Wow, the dumb get dumber. Shocking. Parents who are too stupid to understand that vaccines are good are going to teach their kids to be even dumber than them. That certainly won't have any negative consequences for the future of this country.
This is going to happen. That's where we're headed. Okay? That's exactly where we're headed. Civil war? Possibly. Because even the sleepers, no. I don't think, can tolerate this. And if they do, forget it. Then they're done. I don't care. Let them do what they want. Because they're really hopeless. That's one of the main reasons why I have this song under my description. It's a nice Pink Floyd song that should be suitable for the sleepers. Anyway, I wanted to put that out there and just say hi.
It's Hey You.
Because they're really hopeless.
I would have thought his favorite Pink Floyd song was going to be We Don't Need No Education.
That's one of the main reasons why I have this song under my description. It's a nice Pink Floyd song that should be suitable for the sleepers. Anyway, I wanted to put that out there and just say hi to everybody and see how everybody is. Tomorrow's going to be Think About It Friday. Got a couple things I'd like you to think about.
Oh, Cece. Chris is an interesting one. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Chris is not a grifter. Chris is not getting anything monetarily out of this. He's a true believer, and that's pretty sad. Because, boy, is he wrong. Anyway, let's do some bit messages and then we'll check the bingo card. RTK142 says, I've been yelling at my friends to not share videos I have to read, so I'm there with you. Lily Love Stuff says, CC proves that Westchester is the Florida of New York. Daddy Sume says, whenever he says sleeper, this is all I can think of. I missed the link, sorry. Neko Girl 5781, thanks for following. Mike Max 321 says, I live in New York City and it's fine. Those who left were never real New Yorkers, but many did leave to be safe and find jobs. Daddy Sume says, also burn like hell, Hannah. MMO Addicted says, smoke booze every day. Pyromancer says, 100% of people who have ever consumed dihydrogen monoxide have died. True. RDK142 says, the level of incredulousness on display is mind-boggling. That's like his main thing, is incredulousness. I'm gonna have some dihydrogen monoxide right now on stream.
Father! Father!
I don't know dick about Dune. Sorry. Toeen24 says, the hypodermic needles at Jones Beach. CC totally just outed himself as a racist asshole who hasn't been to Jones Beach since 1988. Zonlick, thank you for resubscribing for 3 months, says, Hannah's stream always cheers me up. Also awesome to see anyone trans thriving while transitioning and not just after. Oh, thank you. Mike Max says, isn't Trump supposed to be the president tomorrow? Some QAnon people think so. Tucker White says, I'll go see Space Jam 2 only if there's an Easter egg from Quest for Camelot. Bardlock Moses says, just got home from work. I hope you have a relaxing evening. Also says, there's enough people that want the vaccine to make up for the dumbasses. At least I hope so. I hope so too. And someone hasn't seen the clip with his wife. Yeah, the wife clip is very funny. Daddy Sume says, there are 3 things that are unavoidable in life. Assholes, death, and taxes. Tucker White says, trust me, Chris, the vaccine ain't bad. Now, if you excuse me, the nanobots want me to buy an Xbox One that I can't afford. Marcus Drake says, the Supreme Court has literally said states can fine or arrest you for not getting mandatory vaccines. But those guys were just asleep, to be fair. Tucker White says, that already happens already, Chris. Most schools require you to have certain vaccines to allow you on the property. RTK142 says, I'm so opposed to homeschooling. I agree. I think it's terrible. And WTF4174, thank you for 1,000 bits. MMO Addicted says, so, fun Poland politics story. Our more liberal prime minister before the current regime once did a charity spot for STHG where he sang, Hey Jude. The current ruling party tried to paint him as anti-Semitic and Nazi since he sings, Hey Jew, don't make me cry. Those people rule my country now. Kill me, please. Yikes. People are the worst. I hate everyone in the world. So this is Bob Larson, who claims to be a real exorcist. I am a real leprechaun hunter. Good to meet you. And let's just see what he's got going on.
Uh-oh, no, he's not much of an exorcist because this thing terrified him and knocked him back over. Oh, we even got the sign.
Oh, I did forget to do bingo. Thank you. I'm sorry, I always forget that. Flat Earth, which is on here somewhere. That might be it. He didn't mention a lot of other specific things. I think that's it. He didn't mention aliens. Do I have a leprechaun flute? Yes. Yes, I do. Baja did not blast. Baja blasts only counts if she, like, comes in and explains a science-y thing. That's not what she came in and did. Oh, he did mention alien invasion. You're right, aliens. She was just asking, like, did he just say to put alcohol in your nose? It wasn't about that. Alright, so it's Bob Larson, claims to be a real exorcist. No such thing. Let's check it out.
Swinging in the air. Well, maybe something is going on here.
How does anyone take this shit seriously?
You are about to see my analysis of a haunting video of possession that has been out there on the internet. This is part of a new series that we're doing, taking a look at what's happening in social media and on the internet that has to do with demons and the supernatural, and giving it context, giving it factual reality, both according to a psychological viewpoint as well as, more importantly, a biblical spiritual viewpoint. Now, the video we're going to take a look at, I have not seen. I don't have a clue what I'm about to see, because I want you to get my raw, unfiltered reaction as I instantly get the take on what is happening here. So here we go. This appears to be in Asia, Japan, I'm not sure exactly where. It's in a supermarket. Demon in a supermarket? Well, demons could be anywhere.
Of course, a demon needs to go and, pick up chips and pretzels, get some boxed meals for one. Demons are a little lonely. You know how it is.
So this lady's walking down the uh-oh.
This looks like a fake video already. This looks staged. Like, this looks completely made up. Is he gonna buy this? Oh no.
Something fell off the shelf there. Couldn't be that it, wasn't put back properly and balanced properly. It must be a demon. Demons really have more important things to do than knock things off shelves in supermarkets. Demons are very specific in how they go about their work. They don't waste their time on stuff like this. But that's, wait a minute. She's having
This was posted April 2nd, so I don't think this is like his April Fool's Day prank. Does he really buy this?
Reaction. Just because she picks this thing off the floor? Okay.
Oh, this is really bad acting.
Now she's down. Her head's flopping back. There's the scream. It caught me by surprise. And she's contorting.
First of all, I think this video is fake in the first place. I think it seems staged, especially considering the camera angle is, perfect to catch this. I've also never seen a supermarket security footage look this clear and have audio, for that matter. But other than that, even if this was real, if I saw this, I'd be like, oh, this is someone with some sort of mental illness that's having an episode, and we need to call someone. Hopefully not the police. I don't know if there's someone you can call for that. But, yeah, I wouldn't think demon.
People are taking a look at it. They have no idea what's happening. This could be a number of things. A catalytic seizure of some kind. It could be an epileptic seizure.
That's not what epileptic seizures look like.
Guy was terrified. Well, she's screaming. She's thrashing about a little bit. But we don't know what's going on here. She could be in pain in her body. Obviously, people are very concerned. Rightfully so. With all this from something falling off a shelf in a supermarket, I'm a bit skeptical here. This has anything to do with demons.
I mean, I'm glad that you're skeptical, but the fact that you're not just skeptical, but the fact that you're even entertaining the idea that it could be demons, not a great look, especially considering how obviously fake the video is in the first place.
Even if it does have something to do with demons, it wouldn't have anything to do with a product on the shelf at the supermarket, unless it's a Ouija board or something like that. All right, now this guy's getting control of the situation. He's staring into her eyes. I don't know, maybe he thinks he's an exorcist or... Okay, now he's making some hand gestures. I don't know whether he's just trying to do something to calm her down or he's a would-be deliverance minister of some kind. Uh-oh, no.
This was posted April 2nd. Is this his April Fool's video?
He's not much of an exorcist because this thing terrified him and knocked him back over. Oh, we even got the sign swinging in the air. Well, Maybe something is going on here. All right, they're moving in now with the cell phone camera to capture this. Everybody's pretty well terrified. They're going to get this woman up now, see if they can get her on her feet. All right, got her on her feet. She's walking away. They carry her away. Sign still swinging in the air. Could have been a breeze from the air conditioning, I don't know. Now the aisle's empty. She's gone, she disappeared. So what went on here?
Poorly made viral video.
We don't know what went on here. The possibilities are that this woman had a catatonic seizure of some kind. She could have been epileptic, or she could have had some neurological reaction to something. I just don't see how it's connected to something that's on the shelf. I think
It's a fake viral video. Bob, what are you doing?
that was just a triggering event, just a serendipitous kind of thing. So, strong possibility here there's something neurological, psychological, or physical happening. Could it be a demon? Well, of course it could be.
No. Demons aren't real.
It acted a little bit like a demon, but
I'll tell you how I know it's not a demon. Demons, I invite you to possess my body, demons. Evil dark spirits, if you would like to take my body, I invite it. I am a dirty heathen. Please take my body, demons. Nothing.
demons generally are not going to act up out of nowhere without cause with a woman alone in a supermarket. I just don't buy it. If it was a demon, what's the purpose? What's the intent? Why attack her at this place and time?
Do demons need intent? Aren't they just demons?
Demons have plans, they have assignments, they have an agenda. So if a demon is going to attack a person, they're not likely to do it broad daylight in a supermarket. They're going to do it when the person's alone. They're going to do it in a situation where it's darker, a bit more fearful. And there's...
Say what you will about demons, they know the right mood, right? It's only when the mood strikes. They're not Sunday afternoon demon people. I guess I'm just going to get attacked by demons later tonight, which is fine. That's probably better for me anyway. I do have to get through the rest of the stream. So that's nice. I appreciate that. Demons have a nice sense of timing.
A very specific intent. So that demon is after something, is trying to accomplish something. It's got a goal, not the randomness that we see happening here. Demons are minions on assignment from a higher up spirit who's giving them direction for an overall plan of coming to steal, kill, and destroy in the life of a person. So, taking a look at this thing, I don't think it's demonic. Not everything that looks or acts demonic is demonic. But when it's a real demon, it's hideous, it's evil, it's often violent, and it has a specific person in mind to destroy. And it doesn't happen randomly.
Good to know. Let me see what are his most popular videos, right? With the dramatic music already, huh? This is from 2014, so he's been grifting this for a while.
Okay, your first name?
Nilufar, it's a Persian.
What?
Nilufar, it's a Persian name.
Persian. So how old are you?
I am at the same age.
46, okay. Are you still single? Never married? Oh, bless your heart. No wonder that struck a responsive note with you.
What the fuck kind of response is that? Oh, an adult woman who isn't married? That's your only function. Aw, shut up.
Because as I ministered to her, you were feeling all that pain.
Is this guy like an actual ordained Catholic priest? Because he wears the vestments of a Catholic priest. But I wouldn't think the Catholic Church would be very okay with this, right? Is he basically cosplaying?
Down inside you.
He's not a priest, but he wears the whole priest outfit? What a joke.
How long have you been a Christian?
5 years now.
5 years. And were you Muslim before?
Yeah.
Who spoke something terrible over your life?
The whole family make fun of me and they calmed me down. They said that you cannot make a decision. You're not a decisive person. They just said that, okay, you're going to be single forever and it's okay. We're going to take care of you anywhere you go. And
they said you're going to be single forever. Don't worry, we'll take care of you. Well, that's another curse. Let's break that curse right down.
Okay.
Say the name of Jesus.
Name of Jesus.
First, Bob must have Nilu break the curses spoken over her by her family. Apparently, your family saying rude things to you is a curse now. I have a lot of curses on me, apparently.
I break this curse.
I break this curse.
Spoke over me.
Spoke over me.
Put your eyes on me, look at me when you say it. By my parents.
By my parents.
Especially my mother.
Especially my mother. Oh.
Keeping me alone.
I'll have what she's having.
Keep me alone.
Keeping me isolated.
Keep me isolated.
And controlled by them.
And controlled by them.
I anoint you in the name of the Father and of the Son.
Bob senses that the demons are interfering with Nilu breaking the curse, so he anoints her in the name of the Holy Trinity to force the demons to manifest.
The Holy Spirit. Look at me. Say, I break this curse.
I break this.
Say, I break this curse.
I break this curse.
Of Jezebel.
Of Jezebel.
Is this just a down low Imodium commercial?
I divide soul and spirit. I divide this woman from you, Jezebel. Jezebel, I'm going to take the sword of the Spirit and put it right through your back. What is your name in Persian? Isabel. Isabel, you're going to let this woman go? Oh, yes, you are. You've had her 46 years. This is it. But what I want to know, Isabel, is how many generations this curse goes back. How many?
Can we get that translation again, please?
Generations this curse goes back. How many?
10.
10.
Sure. Sounds like 10 to me.
What happened 10 generations ago? What happened? What started this curse? Hold her tight, guys. What? You don't understand that?
The language of the demons is Persian Farsi, so ancient that the Iranians present in the seminar didn't recognize it. That's the problem. Sure. I'm sure that's the problem. Otherwise, they definitely would have been able to understand that.
Well, this goes way back. This is ancient Farsi. Isabel, I'm going to put this sword through you again. Answer me. What started this curse 10 generations ago? Get up, spirit of Isabel. So what is Jezebel? It's almost always witchcraft. Witchcraft? Witchcraft?
Yeah, I like that.
You like that? Witchcraft 10 generations ago. And why did they do it? What did they want? Power? Money? Wealth?
Yes.
Demons, if you want to hit me up, I'll do some witchcraft, okay? Like, I'm down, okay? If you're looking for something, only caveat, this has to be my wand. I already had this made specially. So, if you're looking for someone to do some sweet witchcraft, hit me up.
They worshipped you.
Yes.
How did they worship you?
Hello.
Hello.
Would you like to summon demons with me and become sweet witches?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Sacrifice?
Hi, chat.
Sons. They sacrificed their sons.
They belong to Nabby. Nabby? Oh.
Who belonged to Daniel? Her ancestors?
Yes. They're a blessed family.
To break the blessing of Daniel, the prophet.
Yes. And then one man
Love you too.
to move from the city.
So not only is her family involved in witchcraft, but the prophet Daniel actively blessed the family at some point. This is like going to those people who claim to, like, oh, I'll tell you about your past lives, and everyone is someone famous. No one's just like peasant number 7 in the castle who dealt with, you know, emptying the king's piss pot, or whatever they call those things, chamber pots. It's always like, oh, you were Cleopatra in a past life. Ooh. The pagans wanted the godly descendants of Daniel to move to get them out of the way.
Down. Nilo? Okay, Nilo, you've been listening to what goes on? You've been doing a great job staying out of the way and letting them talk. Say, I, Nilo.
Okay, I Nilo.
Break this ancient curse.
Break this. Oh no!
Stay out of the way, Isabel.
Honestly, my advice, because she came here because she's like single and she thinks a demon's stopping her from getting a date. The leopard print headband, not working. Nix that.
Fun fact, chat. That's probably not known, but Hannah makes me very happy.
You're very sweet.
Go down. Go down. I want Nilo. Go down. Nilo, say, I break the curse.
I break the curse.
To remove.
To remove.
The blessing of Daniel the prophet.
You and Baja can be possessed by Zool and Vince Clortho and bring Gozer into the world. We're gonna bring Gozer into the world later today, if you know what I mean.
To bless it.
I am the key bearer. Are you the gatekeeper? No, it would be the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Daniel prophet.
By removing the curse.
By removing the curse.
Of my ancestors.
Of my ancestors.
Sacrificing their male firstborn.
Sacrifice them. This word.
Their male firstborn.
The male firstborn.
The curse is broken.
The curse is broken. Do! Ooh! Ah! Ah!
Stay with me, Nilo. Stay with me. So the curse is broken.
The curse is broken.
Isabel has to leave.
Isabel has to leave.
The spirit cannot stay.
The spirit cannot stay.
My destiny is blessed.
My destiny is blessed.
My future is blessed.
My future is blessed.
As Daniel was blessed.
As Daniel was blessed.
I will be blessed.
I will be blessed.
I'll put an angel of the Lord in your left, an angel of the Lord in your right.
Bob surrounds Isabel with angels of the Lord.
An angel of the Lord behind you and an angel of the Lord in front of you. Cross your hands at the wrist, please. I take a threefold cord from Ecclesiastes 4:12 and I bind those hands together.
Isabel, you're a prisoner of war. You are bound. Almost forgot the legs. They're bound. You're surrounded by the angels of God. Legal right, yes or no, Isabel? Legal right. She broke the curse. Do you have a legal right? Yes or no? Then you have to go. It's all down to the legal right now.
Lawyered.
Just to reinforce it, I'm going to have this sword back there. You don't like that sword, do you? Say I, Isabel.
I, Isabel.
Look at me. Bind myself.
Burn myself?
To all my kingdom.
My kingdom.
Of witchcraft.
Can you read this message from Tucker White in a British accent, please?
Who? Me?
Yes.
Oh, bloody hell, Hannah! How much longer must I pretend that I like you in front of these, ponce trollops? That's as good as it's gonna get.
Pretty good.
Oh,
And blood covenants.
blood.
And the sacrifice of children. Together,
Together.
we lift the curse.
The curse
From this woman
from this woman
and future generations.
and future generations. You
We receive
will receive
the judgment.
the
The judgment.
I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. Bob uses Jenna, the Farsi word for the pit. The Persian Jenna is the biblical Gena, hell.
Go in the name of Christ. Go. 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 Come on, praise the Lord. I anoint you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I speak to you the peace of God, the presence of Christ, the comfort of the Holy Spirit. Be filled with the Holy Spirit in every part of you where the Lord and Savior.
What a scam. How is this guy still allowed on YouTube? Jesus. Bob Larson goes face to face with a Satanist. Let's just skip through this and see who he hired to come and pretend to be a Satanist.
You get my blog?
Yeah.
How did you get into this?
Into what?
Satanism.
Satanism? I had been into the occult for quite a while and then gradually moved more into Satanism, which is kind of branched away.
A patch on your leg. Yep. In memoriam of the founder of American Archetypal Satanism himself. Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't exercise
Exotic.
him.
He does look exotic. I mean, if somebody orders a latte at Starbucks, they're going to, you know. Interestingly enough, Ashley, you have the most demons.
What?
I'm just telling you.
I would believe that.
Huh?
I guess I would.
You would believe that?
If there was demons, I would probably believe that.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, you see, people are going to look at him and think, oh, he's the one with all the demons. No, you. They've been looking at me. But I speak the love, the peace, and the grace of Christ to you.
She's trying not to laugh so hard.
And I bind you, Satan, for everything you've done to hurt this young woman. All the harm you've caused her, and all the pain you've caused her. And I pray that the love of Christ, I bless you.
Jesus Christ. Vic Berger did a video on this.
What's your first name?
Brenda.
Hi, Brenda. Do you have children?
I have 3 children, 10 grandchildren.
Oh, 10 grandchildren. How old are you?
I'm 50.
I want you to say, in the name of Jesus,
In the name of Jesus,
I break every curse
I break every curse
that's opened the door to demons.
that's opened the door to demons.
Curse is broken.
That curse is broken. No!
I bind all the spirits of the kingdom of Mammon and Jezebel as one. You usually speak for Mammon, Jezebel, so get out! Go!
Come, we have furred your place, and we are leaving.
Okay, thanks for all the fur. Alright, that's enough of the Bob guy. I've had enough demon stuff. Let's check out the bingo card and I'll do some bits messages. We have satanic because of the Satanist guy and, you know, all that stuff. I don't think we have demons or anything on the list, so that's probably about it. I'll say ancient wisdom because of, you know, all his bullshit. Yeah, that's probably good, I think. Ridiculous job title? You know what? You're right. Yep. Where's ridiculous job title? We don't get that one very often. There we go. 20. Ridiculous job title. This guy, I guess, hunts cryptids. No, I didn't do bits messages yet. Shit. I always forget. I always forget one thing or the other. Daddy Sume says you missed the best part of the clip, Hannah. You only need 5 more seconds. Well, then start the clip closer to the part. I can only play so much of copyrighted clips, you know that. Start it right where it needs to start. RTK142 says, bingo? Question mark. We went over the bingo card. Raven G3226 says, you're beautiful, thank you. Laughs and Rec Pod, thank you for hosting. Lily Love Stuff says, but do you have a leprechaun flute? I do. It's a little different. I have a leprechaun. Where's my kazoo? God damn it. Where did my kazoo go? I have a leprechaun kazoo, which is very similar. It was 15 seconds. About 10 is usually the limit. Exorcism. Apply directly to the forehead. RTK142 says aliens? It was aliens. Andrew Batella says, I'll explain the evils of the current world from a psychological viewpoint, and more importantly, from a phrenology world point. Argonian Bum, thanks for resubscribing for 8 months, says, the bulging formation in my womb is demonic. RTK142 says, surprised she doesn't do the curly shuffle. Mike Mack says, the best demon videos is the demon that chases a man and is trying to kill him with a spoon. Can't say I've seen that one. Skill Pata, thank you for following. RTK says, you can't fool us, Hannah, you were just possessed. Why would you say you were possessed? True. Cosmo Freak, thanks for hosting. Tucker White says, well, I'm convinced, Hannah, you're living in sin. Get down on one knee and ask Baha to marry you. And so God is all-powerful, but he needs a priest to exorcise a demon? Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Marcus Drake says, you can tell this is a demon because she speaks foreign. Here it is. Hold on.
The sleeper has awakened!
There you go. See, I can play that clip. It's brief. It's right to the point. Pyromancer says, imagine your lineage 10 generations from now was acting like this for money. I'd be disappointed. That's why I'm not having kids. Okay, that's not why, but it's a good thing that I'm not having kids. Bardlock Moses says, you're a wizard, Hannah, not a warlock. Whatever you say. RTK142 says, bits for Baja Hannah adorableness. Pyromancer says, you and Baja can be possessed by Zool and Vince Clortho and bring Gozer into the world. Bardlock Moses with 100 bits says, nice. Wagroads with 100 bits. Tucker White says, Baja, oh, already read that one. RTK142 says, why are you blinding yourself? Why are you blinding yourself? Why are you blinding yourself? Synth Bandit, thanks for subscribing. Tucker White says, how much do you want to bet he paid these people, especially the women, to pretend what's her name is possessed? It wouldn't surprise me if they were stooges or instant stooges or something, as they're called in the illusion community. Tucker White says, oh my god, this act is nakedly transparent. RTK says, Jezebel gets around. And Tucker White says, and since we just talked exorcisms... No, you gotta start the clip exactly where it needs to be.
Let the enemy have no power over.
Power is to harm. Your mother sucks cocks in hell, Karis.
There you go. Okay, so this guy is a cryptid hunter of some kind, according to the person who sent this to me. I haven't actually seen this, but I suppose we should take a look.
Hello. You might notice that I look a bit different. I've got a bit of an explanation for that. So probably about 4 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, it wasn't long after the last video of the cave, I went and sat by the base of a tree, drawing a picture of the tree, in the hope that if the same pixie was around, that he might turn up. And I didn't get a sighting, but after about half an hour, probably a bit more, probably about an hour, I don't know, but I got this sharp pain in the back of my neck, which I thought, ow, that's a bee sting probably, or something like that. And I went back and there was something sticking out of it. So I pulled it out, it really hurt, and there was this little arrow. So I thought, well, great, well, I've been shot. So I looked up. I couldn't see him anywhere. And as I was doing that, I started feeling...
This guy's clearly pretending, right? Like, it's... But, like, I don't even think it's a scam. I just think he's doing, like, a LARP. Like, an intentional LARP, right?
Whoa, okay, well, I'm starting to feel strange now. And the world was sort of... It was like it was
he does this for fun and makes little fun fake videos.
Anyway, very strange feeling. So I thought, well, I need to get away from this, because obviously he's done something to, you know...
Let me see one of the earlier videos. New fairy species? Question mark? Let me see. Oh yeah, they're like CG. He's doing this as like a project, as like a fictional thing. Whoever sent this to me, guys, he's doing it intentionally. He's not pretending this is... How do I put this? You ever been to the No Sleep subreddit? People write fictional stories, but the conceit of the subreddit is you pretend the fictional scary stories are real. This is the same thing. He's doing something that's clearly fictional, but within the logic of the videos, they're real, air quotes. It's just a project. It's like a fun little thing he's doing. Yeah, cute.
Anyway, let's not waste any time, because he's obviously nearby, so... I'm up on the ridge where he...
That's cute. I don't have anything against this. He's just having fun.
I put a t-shirt on today to make a noise, which I've done previously, and it's this.
Yeah, it's from... He's been doing this for 3 years, yeah. Fun little videos. He goes out in the woods, films some stuff, puts some CG over it. It's cute.
Hold on. Let me try and... There's my finger. There, that little tree.
Yeah, that guy's not a conspiracy theorist. He's just a dude having fun.
Hey y'all, Prepping 101 here. Sitting outside And it's way too quiet. I don't hear anything for cars. You got the rare bird chirping. But it's almost like an eerie silence. This world keeps getting creepier and creepier. That's all I gotta say. Rapping 101. Out.
Sorry, I gotta find a good one. Okay, here's one. This is a video from RV Truth on celebrity cloning. I assume this is going to be another one of those people that looks at celebrities aging and is going to go, they look entirely different. Like, yeah, people, first of all, they don't look entirely different. They look like older versions of themselves, but let's take a look.
It's a topic that I've been asked a lot about, but yet to cover. And unfortunately, I know a lot of people are not going to like this video. Because, as always, the fantasy is not as exciting as the reality. The simple reality is, when it comes to these so-called clone celebrities, if anything, they're just doubles.
They're just older. People get older. The distribution of, fat on people changes as they get older. Their muscle tone changes as they get older. That's fine. That's normal.
It's just, it's not feasible.
Their skin texture changes. Like, these are all normal signs of aging.
God created this way that this is not possible. And again, the elite love it when people fall for this. And again, this is something that's not going to be popular with a lot of my subs. They want to believe this is possible. It's not. If anything, it's just mind games that's taking place. Possibly doing it for convenience, for their own personal...
You can take pictures of people from different angles and they look different? What?
Reason. Maybe one of these celebrities wants to step out of the spotlight, take a break, take a vacation, have a stand-in. Maybe there's some dispute behind the scenes and they no longer want to perform.
If Eminem wants to take a break, you know what Eminem does? He goes, hey guys, I'm taking a break from touring for a year or two. I'll be at my mansion with my hundreds of millions of dollars. I'll see you guys in a couple years. Bye. They don't need to make an excuse. They're incredibly and obscenely wealthy. They can just do that, and they do that from time to time.
Anymore. There's many reasons to why they are replaced. There's a lot of people I'm sure have seen already Yash Kora and his video about cloning. To me, it's a nice piece of fiction. Just
hold on, let me click on these videos from Daddy Sume.
Making up things as he goes along, shows no evidence for what he speaks on. Just a storyteller. Let's just take a look at this. I'll break some of it down.
You don't think lizards are, from the demigods exist? The only way that these demigods can live, they have to get into a human format.
Into a human format. Oh, look, it's Slender Man.
Because they life as reptiles.
This has already been debunked. This is no reptilian. Okay? Give me a break.
It's only so long.
It's not that RV Truth doesn't necessarily believe in reptilians, but this guy isn't one.
They have to be able to be in a human format to live for a long time. And once they get...
Hold on, someone sent me a link. They look nothing alike. Oh, yeah, and then it's the sperm cell.
in a human format, they clone that human over and over again. Did y'all know that Gaddafi, he was cloned?
Where's your proof of that? Where's your proof that Gaddafi was cloned?
I'm going to lay it on you because a lot of y'all think you want to hear some good stuff. But sometimes y'all just want entertainment. I'm not entertainment. I'm going to give it to you from the hip. Farrakhan is chipped. He got the same chipping process as Gaddafi.
How do you know that?
The real Farrakhan.
Why? He's always been a puppet going along with the plan. Just take a look at this one presentation by Farrakhan exposing the Star of David, and right behind him, what do you see? 666. The puppet's part of the...
That's spurious symbology as evidence on the bingo card.
Game.
I also saw 999 first.
Not cloned. He's not chipped. Unless you have evidence to support it, you're just blowing hot air. That's all you...
Yeah, thinly veiled anti-Semitism too. Sorry. Yeah, thinly veiled anti-Semitism too, for sure.
You're doing.
Farrakhan and keep because they want to work his mind. The man is very intelligent. See, a lot of times they want to keep you alive just to pimp your brain. And when they put you under hypnosis and MLK and they can chip you, you're totally submissive to them.
Just a puppet. Been on TV forever. Part of the Divine and Conquer. That's the role of Louis Farrakhan.
Do you know when they put a chip in your body that they can go all the way back 30, 40 years and you can tell them things that you didn't want to tell them?
What? What kind of chip?
This is how powerful the technology is.
That's going to be microchip implants on the bingo card. Where's the microchip thing? Hold on. Tracking microchip implants. There you go.
Once they become a human, they can stay in that human body for a very long time. But if that human body were to get crashed or killed, which they wouldn't because they got powers, don't get it twisted. Okay? But if they did, they have about 5 more lined up. The first cloning may take, I think when they first clone a human being, it takes 3 to 6 months. Maybe sometimes a year, depending on the...
Oh yeah, this guy's a clone. This guy, because he swallowed a bug, he's a clone. Give me a break.
Even RV Truth is over this clone bullshit.
Technology, but usually, with the technology they got, between 6 to 7 months to clone a human being. They need their tissues, their brain cells and all that. They'll clone a human. Okay? After that first human is cloned, they can clone you every...
Now, you just saw those eyes move like that. With recent technology, it's very easy to do. Why didn't we see that in any of the news in the 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s? It's just recent because technology has brought that on. It's, again, things are very simple to explain. People understand. Look at the big picture.
3 hours thereafter. So if they want to make 20 of you, they could. Michael Jackson that y'all saw dancing with James Brown, that was a clone. They had to keep fixing on it because the clone was breaking down. He wasn't going into surgeries. See, clones also can't gain weight.
Clones can't gain weight? How? What?
So basically what they did, they had to keep doctoring on the clone of Michael who was alive. The one that was dancing with dancing with James Brown. Okay, that's Michael Jackson.
I wish I was a clone. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Other people said the same thing. Yep.
That wasn't the real Michael. Matter of fact, when they cloned it, Michael, that clones don't grow hair. So in other words,
why don't clones grow hair? They can clone the human brain perfectly, but they can't clone hair follicles?
However they clone you, whatever you have, that's how you're going to come out.
Clones don't grow hair. Okay. All these celebrities that we see with longer hair, I guess those are just extensions of these supposed clones. Okay.
That's just how the clone produced. So in other words, if you're a person that have long hair, however they clone you, that's how the clone gonna look. When they cloned Michael Jackson, his hair was never attached because the first Michael Jackson that was cloned, his head was 3rd to 4th degree burn in Pepsi commercial.
Oh, so after the Pepsi commercial, that's when they cloned him. Good to know.
He lost half his head. I mean,
He didn't lose half his head. Harry Conniff didn't lose half his head. Give me a break. And here's the footage with Michael Jackson's hair caught on fire. Again, he didn't lose half his head.
his skin disease. Because his skin didn't look the same. His body, they changed everything about him.
His skin tone changed because he had the condition where you have like skin pigmentation changes. That's well, I'm sorry, I forget the name of it, but he had that, and that's what happened.
In the end, when Michael,
as you can see at this point, Michael Jackson, basically his hair is no longer on fire. They put it out pretty quick.
Revitolgo, is that what it's called?
Again, did not lose half
Other
his
people are
head.
saying
all this stuff. You know,
vitiligo.
to look with their eyes and think
Sorry, I
with their own brain and
mispronounced.
not
What? Vitiligo. Thank you.
believe everything people hear on the internet. It keeps going on and on about the cloning. Again, not reality.
Always on to the They Live clips. Annoying. 100% proof SpaceX Falcon 9 does not go into space. The Earth is flat. The Earth is not flat. We've been to space.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Yeah, reptilians on the bingo card too. Almost forgot. Okay, I'm over that shit. Let's move on to something else.
Morning, folks. Well, here we are, Good Friday. And as like myself, I'm sure many other Christians have found it's yet another pagan holiday we're told we should use as an opportunity to praise Jesus. Well, I myself and many others have found that every day is the day we should praise Jesus.
No holidays. You're not allowed to have fun, apparently.
And not simply on pagan holidays, like Ishtar. So,
He's talking about Good Friday, yes.
you know, I was listening to a video Roy Potter put out yesterday about his views on Christianity and what it really all is, and he was reading the introduction to his book he wrote a while ago, and the main thing I took out of it is the manipulation of the Bible and Christianity by the Roman Empire and the Vatican.
Wait, what did he... What?
And Christianity. The manipulation of the Bible and Christianity by the Roman Empire and the Vatican.
The Bible as we understand it today didn't exist while the Roman Empire was a thing. He knows that, right? Like, the Roman Empire collapsed, and then later, the Bible as we know it came to exist, more or less in its current form. Like after the Council of Nicaea. Okay.
What I find hilarious is there are all of these quote-unquote atheists, right?
Yes, atheists exist, yeah.
Running around worshiping the globe.
That's true. Baha knows this. I have a whole shrine to the globe out there, and every day I light incense and I sacrifice a lamb She's not a big fan of that, but, you know, all hail the globe and all that.
And the heliocentric model. The irony.
The Roman Empire was around during the Council of Nicaea? That's my bad then. I apologize.
It's just hilarious.
But, like, how would they manipulate the Bible then, since they're the ones who, you know, developed it? There was nothing to corrupt from. It was just them selecting which scriptures would go into the Bible. So how would it make sense for them to have corrupted it when they're the ones who put it together? What would they have been corrupting? You know what I mean? It'd be like, I don't know, if I put a book together and then someone said, you corrupted that book. And I'd be like, what do you mean? I put the book together. How did I corrupt it? I don't know.
Worshipping the globe and the heliocentric model that literally is an invention of the Catholic Church, of the Vatican. This is admitted. This is not conspiracy theory.
The Catholic Church was Christianity for a lot of Christian history. Like, you don't have to like that, and you can totally be like, yay, Martin Luther, nail your grievances on the church door. That's great. Like, the Reformation is an interesting period of history, and I would tend to agree that the Catholic Church, on the whole, has been a incredibly corrupt, terrible organization. But, you know, they also were Christianity for centuries, so...
Theory. This is not anything but fact.
Can you sacrifice a potato? No. Genesis is very clear about that. God will not accept vegetables as sacrifices. Cain and Abel story.
Admitted by the priest that came up with the heliocentric model. And those...
The priest that came up with the heliocentric model? What?
That helped pushed it.
You mean Galileo?
Push it. I know Potter's...
I don't even think he was the first person to, like, posit that. I think he was just one who was like, oh, look at this shit. Look at these observations I made with a telescope.
Clay's done a video touching on it. I'm sure others have also. What we know is these globe fanatic cult globe worshippers will never do research into their own insane model and who invented it. Because it wasn't God.
I know I learned it in high school, but it's been a while. Let's see. Heliocentric model. Heliocentrism. Ancient and medieval astronomy. While the sphericity of the Earth was widely recognized in Greco-Roman astronomy from at least the 4th century BC, the Earth's daily rotation and yearly orbit around the Sun was never universally accepted until the Copernican Revolution. While a moving Earth was proposed at least from the 4th century BC in Pythagoreanism, a fully developed heliocentric model was developed by Aristarchus of Samos in the 3rd century BC. These ideas were not successful in replacing the view of the static spherical Earth. From the 2nd century AD, the predominant model, which would be inherited by medieval astronomy, was the geocentric model, described by Ptolemy's Almagest. Pythagoras, it looks like basically it was... Copernicus that ended up doing that shit. Nicholas Copernicus in his De Revolution... Oh, God. Renaissance and all your goddamn words. De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium. God damn it. Fucking Greek. Or Latin, sorry. On the Revolution of the Heavenly Spheres, the printed in 1543 in Nuremberg, presented a discussion of heliocentric model of the universe in much of the same way as Ptolemy in the 2nd century had presented his geocentric model in his Almagest. Copernicus discussed the philosophical implications of his proposed system, elaborated in geometrical detail, used selected astronomical observations to derive parameters of his model, and wrote astronomical tables which enabled one to compute the past and future positions of the stars and planets. In doing so, Copernicus moved heliocentrism from the philosophical speculation to predictive geometrical astronomy. In reality, Copernicus' system did not predict the planets' positions any better than the Ptolemaic system. This theory resolved the issue of planetary retrograde motion by arguing that such motion was only perceived and apparent rather than real. It was a parallax effect, as an object that one is passing seems to be moving backwards against the horizon. This issue was also resolved in the geocentric Tychonic system. The latter, however, while eliminating the major epicycles, retained as a physical reality the irregular back-and-forth motion of the planets, which Kepler characterized as a pretzel. So it wasn't until later that they figured out elliptical shit, I would guess. Interesting. How vulgar Latin is, I agree. Let's ban Latin.
So we know they won't do the research anyway, so there's no point telling them to. But anyone else that's interested, like I say, I know the Potter's Clay channel has done a video years ago touching on it, and others may. So just research the Vatican influence on the heliocentric religion. That
pretty sure the Vatican wasn't a big fan of it at first.
These deluded, devolved monkeys can't seem to wrap their little mind around that they are part of the biggest religious cult in history. So I thank you, Jesus, for letting me see the humor of that.
The irony of those two sentences juxtaposed with each other is palpable.
Ironic situation. As for the rest of it, y'all have a good weekend. Take care.
Built to destroy.
Nope.
Well, you know, the more current events go on, the more I think, wow, thank God. Rejoice in the Lord. The end must be near.
Death cult.
The more I look at all these, I mean, oh my God. These scientific leaders on YouTube, like the Nazi worshipping pedo lover Simon Dan.
I don't agree with Simon Dan on everything he's ever said, but, or some of the people he hangs out with. Some of them are a little chuddy, but, not a Nazi. When he's talking about this, he's referencing, Operation Paperclip, and he's saying anyone who likes NASA likes Nazis, because there were Nazis, ex-Nazis, in the original founding of NASA.
And Professor Dave, that isn't a professor of anything but bullshit. These guys are the most beta boy, cucked out, statist pussies ever to walk the earth.
All great arguments for the flat earth, and definitely not embarrassing.
Can you imagine if these clowns had come out trying to be leaders back in the World War II generation when men were actually men?
I liked it back in World War II when a good portion of the world's population slaughtered each other and got PTSD, but we didn't know what PTSD was, so we just told them to suck it up, and then they all became alcoholics and beat their children, which is probably why baby boomers are so fucked up. Anyway, back to talking about flat earth in my garage.
These little cream puff cowards would have gotten eaten the fuck up and been washing toilets for a living.
Someone had to clean the toilets during World War II, yeah.
Because all they can do is parrot the state's propaganda and call it science. And then run around like little girls slandering anyone that tells the truth.
Really? You're gonna accuse other people of slandering after all the shit you just said? Technically, none of that's literally legally slanderous because it's all opinion and just insult. But, like, you just spent the first minute and a half of this video calling people betas like you're a 12-year-old trying to win an internet debate on Twitter.
It's unbelievable. There is not a molecule of testosterone in these motherfuckers. They are just the world's biggest cowards. And that the fact that the system is pushing these clowns as some sort of leaders.
What system? They have relatively popular YouTube channels. Like, let's see, Simon Dan, Professor Dave. Simon Dan has... Sorry, I'm trying to find actual Simon Dan's channel, but what's coming up is a lot of people who don't like him. That's kind of funny. Simon Dan. Simon Dan has 425,000 subscribers. So, like, he's got followers. I watch his stuff from time to time. He's a decent science communicator. I don't know a ton about Professor Dave. Professor Dave. I've seen a few of his things on Flat Earth, but I'm not super familiar. Professor Dave has more. Professor Dave has 1.26 million subscribers, but the majority of stuff he does isn't about the shape of the Earth. He's done some Flat Earth stuff, but mostly he does actual stuff about science, you know? Introduction to immunology. These words that I can't pronounce. The chemistry of arene and aranese. Baja's gonna yell at me in a second. The history of microscopy. Like, yeah, he's a science communicator. It's fine.
Shows you how terrified of real men they really are.
Real men sit in their garage and parrot worldviews that would have been laughed at in the 3rd century BC.
And how full of bullshit.
Thanks for the 1,000 bits, Bardlock Moses. I'll be done with him soon if you want to come back, but I get it.
The mainstream system is. Because for 6 years straight, we've been asking these clowns to prove the compulsive lies that come out of their mouth every time they open them.
Simon Dan covers the actual science, and I know Professor Dave does too. I've seen their material of the Earth being round and heliocentrism being true. Countless ways. They've done it time and time again. They've been running their channels for years. Like, they do that all the time.
How can you tell the Nazi-worshipping pedo lover Simon Dan or the Nazi-worshipping pedo lover Professor Dave are lying? Because their lips are moving. These are the most despicable excuses for men on this earth. Maybe they should become the next Caitlyn Jenners.
Oh, here we go.
Because
that's the only trans person he knows, by the way.
They don't deserve the title of men. They are beta boy bitches that drop to their knees and service the system every time it demands it.
I mean, what's the system look like? I'll consider it.
And they should be treated as such. So, Simon Dan, you're a bitch boy coward. You wouldn't know science if it slapped you in your bitch ass face. Remember the time I asked you, Simon Dan, what the psi in your name stood for? And you told me sciatica?
Yeah, he was making fun of you. He was making fun of you.
You were speaking the truth, because you know damn good and well it's got nothing to do with science. Because that's the game you beta little bitches play. And you think real men don't see right through it. That's the ironic part.
He's such a psycho. Okay, that's enough of that whack job for the day. So Peter, of Peter's political perspective, his main channel, Health Sanctuary Family, was banned. He's upset about it, so he's jumped over here to his backup channel. Peter's political perspective. So let's see his apology video and then his most recent video on how he thinks Trump will fix it so he won't get banned from Twitter. Hold on, I gotta add his Rumble and BitChute to my folders because he's definitely going to get banned again. And I want to make sure I have access to his videos for this show. Okay.
Hi guys. I owe you guys an apology, actually several apologies.
This is very quiet. Let me see if I can boost the audio a little bit.
I'm sorry that PPP video is not up today, and I'm sorry that I wasn't careful enough with my YouTube channel. I'm sorry that this whole massive growth in my YouTube channel actually got to my head, made me cocky and arrogant, and maybe even rude sometimes.
I'm sorry I was rude while calling for the deaths of our political enemies. I should really be nicer while I do that.
Possibly. It's definitely possible. Because I feel like I hurt a lot of people's feelings, and I'm sorry for hurting people's feelings. I feel like there were points where I was chasing the money more than I was actually chasing useful information and just putting out content that would get a lot of views more than content that was actually going to help people.
That's an admission.
So I apologize for...
I'll tell you one thing. I've never put the money over my own entertainment. That's where the Danzy comes from. We've put a moratorium on Danzy, but you know, if you let the money come first, the content will just become shit. You gotta enjoy yourself.
For that, I think that maybe it was a good thing that my main account was terminated because I needed a big piece of humble pie so I could be more humble. Several people told me that I was becoming cocky with the growth of my channel. My wife did, my sister did, and my dad did, and I agree that I let the growth of the YouTube channel get to my ego, and I'm sorry.
Which is funny too, because like he had a decent number of subscribers. He had something like 30 to 35,000 subscribers. That's not bad at all. But it's funny to me that he got all cocky about it. Like, you're not PewDiePie. Let's put it that way. I don't know. Just seems a little funny to me, imagining Peter in his day-to-day life getting like like his wife or someone telling him like, hey, can you put the laundry in or can you do some dishes, and him being like, woman, I am busy making my YouTube videos. Over a 30-something thousand subscriber channel.
Sorry for people I've hurt or for not producing content that you guys deserve. I am going to restart this channel, my main channel. My wife's going to make a new banner because I know it still has that old logo that reminds people of 666 for some reason.
That is a definitive answer, by the way. Some people are like, why did Peter change his logo? Apparently it was because some Christians thought it looked too much like 666.
So she's gonna make a new banner. This is gonna be my new YouTube channel. And from now on, I'm really gonna push content that is truthful and helpful and useful. I mean, I've been always pushing content that was truthful, but I think I was at one point pushing content that was makes more money than I was pushing content that was actually helping people. But I've always been honest with you guys, 100% honest, and that's something that I'm at least proud of. And I hope that I can produce much more useful content, I can do better research, and I can really make...
If you did better research, the entire premise of your channel would be destroyed. If you did good research, you would realize, oh, all this is bullshit. And that would be the end of the channel. Wouldn't be very fun for your audience, I would imagine.
Meet all your expectations. My main income was the YouTube channel.
Oof, never do that.
I do have some...
I say that as someone who makes money online. Don't ever do this.
Patreon supporters and some donate.
Thanks for all the support, by the way. I appreciate it.
Right now, I haven't got donations in a while, and I've lost a few Patreon supporters. My channel's bringing in around $170 or $160 right now a month.
You were depending on $160 to $170 a month to survive? How? Vast lunacy. Thank you for gifting 10 tier 1 subs to the community. I appreciate that.
Without the income. So without your support, I won't have basically my...
See, Peter, it's that easy. I really do appreciate it, though. Thank you.
Income will be like $160 this month. So I really, if you feel like I am worthy of your Patreon support, of your donations, really appreciate during this time of being humbled and restarting my channel and building back up. I would appreciate some Patreon supporters, or you can donate through Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. I do definitely need the financial support. I'm trying to support my family. My goal was to...
Peter, look, I get it. If you want to start doing like a YouTube channel or something in your spare time, that's excellent. That's great. And even if you were like on your own and you wanted to do sort of the starving artist thing, except in this case we're using artist pretty liberally, and you wanted to, you know, live in a loft apartment somewhere with really low real estate value, and you wanted to struggle bus it and do your YouTube thing, that'd be one thing. But you got a wife and kids, man. Like, you should probably get a real job. Like, that's not cool to try and ask your audience, like, I have a wife and kids, give me money. Like, no, that's not good. Don't do that.
Be out of debt by the time my child was born. And
what happened to his channel? His first channel got banned for being like QAnon and election conspiracy stuff.
The only way I am even close to accomplishing that is if I made $12,000 in May for my YouTube channel. It's a big goal.
Oh, there's what? There's no way you're making $12,000 on your YouTube channel by May. It's April today. You posted this yesterday. Zero chance, Peter.
$12,000. I never made that much money in my life. Didn't even get close to it, but...
Oh.
I still have my head sight on my head.
It would take me on my YouTube channel, just YouTube channel, not Twitch. Twitch is where I make my money, basically, to live. This is my job. YouTube, I put the archives there, and it's good for, like, extra money, but it's certainly not a good place to make a great deal of money. Like, if I only had YouTube as an income source, it would take me over a year to make $12,000. Just for the record, you don't make that much money on YouTube. You got to get some pretty good views to actually make money there.
My head
That's from my channel alone, not the Hannah and Jake channel, which of course makes more because we have over 100,000 subscribers on there.
Really oriented towards being debt free, and so I can be financially free, so I can have financial freedom by the time my third child is born. That would be a big goal for mine. If you guys can help me achieve that through donations, through Patreon support, I really appreciate it. Also, sharing my content would really help my channel so I can become monetized. I'll start resuming posting PPP videos tomorrow. And again, I apologize for everyone, and I hope that you feel like I deserve your donations and your support and your time. And for all the people who've stuck with me no matter what, I appreciate it, and I hope that I can become a better person for all you, so that I can create the content that you guys want. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day, everyone.
I feel so terrible for his children. Oh, boy. Can I see? Let's see. He has 30 patrons at $169 per month. My Patreon has more than that. My Patreon has 52 patrons with $232 a month. I have a Patreon, by the way, if you guys don't know, if you ever want it. I hate to shill, but it is my job. So we do a once a month patron-only hangout. It's third Sunday of every month. These are the previous ones, but I can only see them because I'm the page person, and you can see them if you are a patron, of course. But, yeah. Let's see what his most recent video is. His most recent video, that's very loud, is him basically bitching that YouTube has banned him. That's all it is.
In light of recent events, I thought it'd be a good idea to make a video about what Trump's plan is to fix YouTube. So this...
Clearly, Trump is going to get back in office, and he's going to fix all of Peter's problems. It's so sad. Instead of actually looking for real-world solutions to his issues and how to support his family and 3 children, he's got to, like, imagine this magical, Daddy, Trump is going to come save me and my kids. Like, no, please go get an actual job.
This video is about how the censorship will end and when that's going to happen. My name is Peter Hanna. This is Peter's Political Perspective. Got this information from a source.
Ooh, a source, you say?
That I vetted over the course of over 3 years. So
Okay, beautiful. I trust Peter. Undoubtedly. There's not a doubt in my mind. I trust him.
100% trust the source because I actually vetted them over 3 years and read 30,000 of their posts, and I know they're credible. So this was a source on Twitter. And so what they said, and from my understanding is they're extremely credible and they have a lot of intel, what's going to happen with the censorship on Google and YT and all that is basically...
It's not censorship, Peter. They banned you for spreading conspiracy theories about the election and other conspiracy theories about wanting your political enemies to be murdered or put in jail.
Probably this year, I imagine.
He did say he thought Mike Pillow was 100% credible, yes.
A little bit after Trump comes back into office, there's going to be a massive lawsuit, and people like me, see, I got kicked off YouTube, terminated, my account was terminated.
You got kicked off, which is why we're watching you on YouTube right now. Oh, ban evasion, fun.
Not for breaking rules, but just cause. Google basically said, we...
No, not QAnon as the source yet. He hasn't actually referenced QAnon, so...
We have the right to terminate you at any point for whatever reason, and we felt like doing it, so bye-bye. And so, basically, even though I followed rules, I got kicked off.
You weren't following rules. YouTube has specific rules now about spreading conspiracy theories about the 2020 election, and you broke those, so they banned you. They're allowed to do that. Actually, YouTube can ban anyone for any reason. It's in their TOS, and you can disagree with that. That's fine. If you want to nationalize YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, great, let's do that. I don't care. But as it is right now, that's not how it works. Your freedom of speech has not been hurt. Certainly not your First Amendment rights. You're fine.
Legally, they have the right to do that, but...
He's about to say something that's so ignorant... It hurts me. I listened to this earlier before the stream started. He's about to say something that's so bereft of actual legal standing, it hurts my brain.
If they do this to a certain extent, to a certain amount of certain types of people, then what ends up happening is that becomes illegal.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Being a conspiracy theorist is not a protected class. You can sue anyone for anything, but you're certainly not going to get relief from the courts because YouTube is banning conspiracy theorists, whether it's 1 or 10 or 10 million. YouTube will not get in trouble for banning conspiracy theorists from your platform, from their platform, rather. That's not how anything works.
And as a result, there is going to be a lawsuit this year, somewhere towards the end of the year, where all content creators that were kicked off YouTube unfairly, like me, and I'm gonna join the lawsuit.
Instead of like filling out job applications so he can support his family, he spends his days imagining an imaginary class action lawsuit in which he'll be able to get monetary damage from YouTube for deleting his conspiracy theory account. Peter, get a job.
Are gonna sue YT so that we can get monetary compensation because we were unfairly kicked off the platform. Now, like I said, YT legally has the right to kick me off because I signed the contract that gave them the power to do that. But if they do this to a certain extent, to a certain demographic of people, then as a result, that is not allowed. That's actually
untrue. If it were a demographic that's a protected class, like a particular race, or at this point, I think sexuality, the Supreme Court is on the list, and gender identity. If it's even religion, I think is on that list. Like there are protected classes under the law. Your political affiliation and your conspiratorial individual beliefs are not protected classes. So there's no amount of conspiracy theorists that could be banned that would turn this into an illegal action. That's not how this works. You're either a protected class or you're not. And you're not, Peter.
actually illegal. So they are breaking the law by what they're doing. And as a result, I will be joining that lawsuit and I will be getting some type of monetary compensation. Crossing my fingers, hopefully. It might be just like $100. But then again, YT and Google, they're big corporations, so they have a lot of money. This is going to happen this year. After that lawsuit takes a big chunk of money out from Google.
Google has more money than God, so wouldn't even if this imaginary lawsuit were to happen and you were to get some amount of money from it, it would be a class action, so you'd probably get a check for $5. But either way, Google would be fine.
What's going to happen is Google, since it's basically a monopoly, and YT is also monopoly.
Which is why you also have a BitChute channel. I get it, though. Yes, YouTube is too big, and so is Google. Break them up. I don't care.
There's going to be a breaking up of this monopoly into smaller companies, from what I understand. And the people, anyone corrupt or evil, running these companies or in these companies.
I like that he's already decided that the only possible reason he could have been banned is because the people running the company are evil and not because he was spreading misinformation. It doesn't even cross his mind once that he could have been wrong.
Well, basically justice will be served right to them, and that means they're probably not going to be working for YouTube anymore or for Google. And as a result, if YT and Google are being run by good guys, then...
Good guys are people that agree with him politically and want to kill all their political enemies, if you don't know.
There won't be any more censorship of any kind.
The idea that if a bunch of QAnon wackos got in charge of YouTube, they wouldn't censor left-leaning content, and by left-leaning content, I mean anything to the left of Donald Trump, is hilarious.
Especially not any censorship with nefarious purposes. So, as a result, I'm hoping if I keep my channel up for like 5 or 6 months, then the censorship will be over. And then I can just say all the things I really want to say. But in the meantime, I will be posting on Rumble, and also I'll be posting on Michael Liddell.
BitChute bans left-wing content. Surprised Pikachu face.
New website, Frank Speech. It's supposed to be a combination of YouTube and Twitter, and that is also a solution to the problem. Temporary band-aid is for people to jump to a new platform. I'm going to jump on there because it's a new platform, and hopefully I can become one of the bigger personalities on that platform early on. So that is my goal.
The funny thing is, he's probably not wrong. Peter has enough of a personality, and I say enough of, that if he got on Rumble or BitChute and did it consistently, he could probably be one of the middle of the road to higher tier creators on there, because it's a small pond, you know? I think Styx is on there, and I think Styx is one of the biggest BitChute creators, and I think he has like 100,000 subs on there or something.
Post on Rumble, but I'm also going to build this channel up. I need a certain amount of watch hours to monetize it. So I appreciate you guys watching this video.
He's so boring. You haven't seen a lot of the BitChute content if you didn't understand that this guy's more charismatic than 90% of the people on there.
Videos and supporting me. And if you guys can support me financially, because I've been hit by the censorship gun, obviously.
You weren't censored. Stop it.
You can support me financially in the section below. Become a Patreon supporter in the description, or donate to me through Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. I'd really appreciate it. But the censorship is going to stop this year. There's no reason it would continue, because with Trump being president again, there's no way he's going to let it just fly, especially when there's so many people who work for these companies that are that they need justice served to them, to put lightly. Now,
again, this is not about... It's so clearly about hurting people that Peter wants hurt. Recently, YouTube banned his other YouTube account, so he has to fantasize about hurting those people. They're not just people who harmed him in some way. They're not just people that deleted his channel. They have to be like evil satanic pedos. It's so weird that he has to make things this crazy and big and have to be like, and they deserve to die or go to jail or whatever. It's like, come on, man.
On my next video, I'm going to explain why I'm 100% confident that Trump's going to come back and save us. It just
I'm excited.
Makes sense. I think instinctively most of us feel like it makes perfect sense for Trump to come out of nowhere and just save us and save planet Earth and save the country, because that is just how it must go. I mean, either that or we're all doomed. So I'm going to make my next video. It's going to be about that. Looking forward to sharing with you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Thank you so much for supporting. I am going to focus on producing quality content that is useful to you guys, and also, as always, cheers you guys and gives you guys hope. Thank you so much, guys, and have a wonderful day.
Jesus Christ, Peter. We'll continue to keep an eye on Peter, either here on YouTube or on BitChute or wherever, if he gets banned. I very much want to see what he says when August comes around, because he seems pretty confident that Trump will be back by August, and of course he won't be, because this is all conspiracy nonsense. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. Let's check the bingo card, and we'll do some bit messages. Did he mention the deep state? I don't think he did, actually, surprisingly. He said my research, I think. Let me see. I think that's it. No bingo yet? That's surprising. Bit messages. RTK says Jezebel gets around. Tucker White says, and since we just talked exorcisms, that was the link to The Exorcist we watched earlier. Chaser Dave, thank you for following. Seder Dreams, thank you for subscribing. RTK says, back in October, I was touring our Senate district with my boss. We went through this one town, and I swear it felt like it was deserted. It was straight out of Walking Dead or something. That's kind of weird. Mike says, I don't look like my baby pictures. That's me. I'm a clone. Daddy Sume with some links that we'll look at later. Tucker White says, he's right. Everyone knows nobody looks different in pictures. Compare Hannah Reloaded to this picture of her. They look nothing alike. It was a sperm cell. So, jokes. Freiserburn says, have you heard of the Avril Lavigne replacement conspiracy? I have. It ties into a lot of these celebrity double or clone conspiracies. Como Freak, thanks for 100 bits, says, you rule, Hannah. Pyromancer says, I want this chip so I can remember things. 0M80 says, can we see cat if they consents to be shown? We saw the cat earlier. The Dak, thanks for resubscribing for 3 months. Vast Lunacy with 100 bits says, imagine getting dunked on by another conspiracy theorist. Oof. Crusader37 Gamer, thanks for resubscribing for 4 months, says, what's good? Getting my vaccine soon. That's good. Mike Mag says, conspiracy theorists denying other conspiracy theories is the best thing ever. I know, I love it. Pyromancer says, Hannah.exe has stopped working, and praise be the Earth Chan. Von Tuck says, pizza restaurant, assets frozen by mistake. Bet QAnon will do something with this. Yeah, the Trump administration accidentally sanctioned an Italian pizza place instead of a Venezuelan oil company because they had the same name. Overthought says, we actually revolve around Pluto. They don't want you to know that they stopped designating it as a planet so we'd forget about it. Daddy Sume says, God, his arrogant laugh is infuriating. Bardlock Moses says, I hate this person, and then they had to go because of the Daniel Pratt stuff. Ninja Pizza 30, thanks for following. Solomon 52 with 100 bits says, wasn't he in a few Rob Zombie movies? Bless you! Pyromancer says, I'm sorry for being wrong about the Trump going to be president again. Tao Haza, thanks for following. Vast Lunacy, thank you for gifting 10 subs to the community. Pyromancer says, we all know handouts aren't the Republican way. Glift Inoid, thanks for 100 bits. J. Fritz Littman, thanks for following. Sayanays the Instrument, thank you for following. RTK says, coming out of nowhere like a wrecking ball. Yout Jaxed with 100 bits says, these people think that Gen Z being more accepting is the fall of humanity instead of them trying to force us back to the 40s. Whew. Caught up. Great. What is this? Daddy Sume sent these October 14th, and this is March 11th. Wait, 2021. San Diego mom thinks she's the victim of a community stalking.
It's the thing nightmares are made of.
You know, it's so creepy that I decided to have a bolt put on the door, and I'm having my son sleep in here with me.
Creepy only begins to describe it.
It's like an alternate reality, really.
When she'd get home from work, Fasika Tafara started noticing things out of place in her home.
You know, they were just all open, but what was weird is, so for example, they were open like this, but they were all at the same level.
First, the windows, then lights turned on, her cabinets pulled out.
It's intended to let me know that somebody has been here, essentially, right? So all of the drawers have been pulled out. And
something strange every single day for almost the past month. She finally realized someone has been coming inside.
Are people following me? And then I started to wonder also, well, how do they know when I'm here and when I'm not?
Gonna get a bingo rundown?
Then Tafara found this small camera in her 11-year-old son's bedroom.
Oh God, why?
So she took to the internet and started digging. What she found? Something called community or gang stalking. It's an eerie practice aimed at your psyche to make you almost feel like you're going crazy.
It's spooky, and my understanding is that if this is in fact what it is, it can go on for years, you know.
Only you're not. Tafara left her phone recording audio at her house. Listen, you can hear what sounds like people rummaging around. On one, you can hear what sounds like drilling.
So this hole here has been cut into the attic space.
Tafara says detectives have been to the house.
It's kind of like, you know, if it happens again, call us, but there's not much we can do.
Something that makes this even more terrifying.
What the hell?
So guys, I took a look at my comment section, and this is a very, very, very popular thing to talk about. And it's something, and when I say a very, very popular thing to talk about, I mean a lot of people are going through this.
Burn the house down to be safe.
And that is being threatened by gang stalkers and things like this, because it's happening to everybody that's basically being who they're supposed to be, accumulating successes in, it could be any areas. You're doing the right thing, and maybe the people around you are getting mad, upset, jealous, envious because you're doing the right things and they're clearly not, or they don't have it in them to do it, or whatever reason that is holding them back. Now you are being targeted. You are a targeted individual. You are being gang stalked. People are paying close attention to you and what you're doing. And I know what it's like. I know what it's like to go through it, and I feel for everybody that is going through such situations, and some people have it at much worse against you.
Oh god,
And
it's just a guy
very...
sitting here for 17 minutes. I'll save this and watch it later and determine if it's interesting enough. I don't know. Where am I going to put this? Other bookmarks. That'll do. I don't know if I want to do a call for an uprising. I always like to search certain terms and look at the most recent videos, like Flat Earth. Because YouTube, rightfully so, buries these videos, but if you look by most recent...
audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. You understand the problem?
What?
Triangulate it. You need...
We're not disagreeing with you. We're saying...
This is Nathan Oakley's channel. I haven't really covered Nathan Oakley because he tends to do these sprawling 3-hour debates. And he's really interesting because he gets angry and he just yells at people, and I wish I could cover him more. But it's hard to get, like... It's hard to get snippets. You basically have to go through the whole thing.
Saying the same thing, but in a shorter, non-pedantic way.
Why, thank you for being so much more concise than I. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Oh boy, presupposed. Come on, Discord, somebody in there, some baller. Come on, make this today's topic. What was the claim?
A self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth.
Well, I'm not really documented at all. I'm documented, but not at a large scale. But
let me see if I can find a thing from Nathan.
So I think that the measure was like this.
Is there a good compilation of him? Because some of it's pretty good. Compilation. This has some clips. Irish Demon did this video about a debate he did with Nathan Thompson. I'm going to skip just to the actual clips from the debate. Thank you, Irish Demon, for getting these clips together. I appreciate it.
Follow the scientific method.
They don't.
Yeah, because of behavior.
Okay.
I think this has to do with, if I remember correctly, one of them believes gravity exists and the other doesn't or something, and they're arguing it. So it's two flat earthers fighting each other about how they think the flat earth works.
So if entropy and things go down, boom, boom, is a natural law, well, then it would be outside of scientific experiment.
Yeah, the cause isn't establishable. So if you want to establish the cause of entropy, be my guest. But describing things that occur always, perfectly acceptable. But is there a always in nature downward vector, Nathan?
Well, unless it's a helium balloon. But yeah, I would. Yeah.
So that would be a
things go up or down.
So that's a no then to the downward vector. So automatically you're on our side then. No mandatory downward vector.
Yeah, gas moves in all directions. No.
So why do you want this debate then? You already know the outcome. There is no mandatory downward gravity.
I think this started because Bob from Globebusters, which is another Flat Earth channel, This was some drama for a little bit because Bob from Globebusters believes in, if not gravity, some other downward force that causes things to, fall when you drop them. We know this is gravity because they're being pulled towards the center of the mass of the Earth, but they have to come up with something else because they're flat earthers. So Bob believes in some sort of downward vector force, whereas I think Nathan Oakley doesn't, and he thinks it's like a density thing. I don't know. It's all bullshit, so it doesn't really matter.
I want the debate, Nathan.
Yeah, because you've won, but I'm asking Nathan why he wants the debate, given he's obviously already of the opinion that there's no downward vector.
Yeah, but to be fair, he doesn't champion it.
Why do you want the debate, Nathan? Why are you pushing this? I'm intrigued.
No, it's not that I want the debate or anything. I just. It's not like. I spoke with Bob last night. I talked to Anthony a couple weeks ago.
I know that he's given the reason.
Guys, can you stop rumpusing him? I want to hear his motivations. We can't divine them. He can only tell us. Go ahead, Nathan. Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah, no. Some people are of the opinion, oh, no, there's this division. Makes us look bad. No, it makes us look good because Flat Earth is not a cult, okay? What you have with the Globers is Brenda says every atom is a clock, and all the Globers go, yeah, that's brilliant. Or a shoe is a naturally occurring phenomenon, and all the Globers go, yeah, that's brilliant. I just encourage a discussion because I say this all the time. Look around. If everyone agrees with you, you're probably in a cult.
When I was in math class as a kid, I remember being in a cult because everyone agreed that 2 + 2 = 4. Lots of cults.
So I just want to see the discussion. I think it'd be good. I don't even care if it's with Bob. I think Austin would do a good job representing the argument too. But
I fully agree with you.
He would.
Yeah,
He would, but the problem is, when we get to the crescendo of the point, because I know that I'm going to win, right? I know that I'm going to win because scientific method tells me that if it's outside of scientific method, it's pseudoscience. When we get to that point, and Whitsitt has to concede or accept the point that I make, which is, well, that's outside of scientific method, right? Therefore, pseudoscience. That means that Bob's never going to take any responsibility for Whitsitt not winning that point. But he is responsible for it. So what's the point in arguing by proxy?
Anthony, we just spoke 3 minutes ago about how natural laws don't follow the scientific method. Our natural law is pseudoscience.
So what? They're just descriptions. I covered this already, Nathan. So we don't have.
Also a false equivalent.
Yeah, it is false equivalence. So we don't have the cause of entropy. Okay. So what?
Yeah,
but we do know how to manipulate it.
I guess anyone could say the cause of egg going up is Anthony.
What? But we didn't.
No, he added mass. That wasn't the cause. He added mass. Still, the same question applies. Natural law, Nathan, is something that is merely a description of something that occurs always. So now, either you can say, well, on their side of this argument, this is flat Earth on flat Earth gravity argument, they say there is an always occurring downward vector. Would you agree, Nathan?
Sorry, I just got a text from Austin, Nathan. Not always.
Just let me repeat my question then, so you actually hear it.
No, not a downward vector.
So you already know which side of this argument's going to win, then.
But Nathan, you understand that that's the whole thing with Bob, is that he thinks there is a downward force causing acceleration. Downward.
Yeah, well, when you pick something up and drop it, it goes down. That is
like a helium balloon. What about a helium balloon?
A helium balloon pushes itself upward against the atmosphere around it because the helium in the balloon is lighter than the air surrounding it.
The helium balloon does that, does it?
How many times have you picked up a helium balloon?
Many. I've got kids. Do you want me to go and get one? Hold on. Oh, hello. G+ panel. Yeah, I've got one. I could go and get one now. Would you like me to do that and let it go down, go boom, boom?
You're going to find a helium balloon on the floor, pick it up, and then let it go.
Oh, when I pick it up, I have to pick it down. Hold on. Guys in G+, for the love of God. I don't have to pick it up. I actually have to pick it down because it's stuck to the ceiling, Nathan.
Yeah.
So not down then. Not a universal down then, Nathan. Okay. Nathan, I'm getting to my point. Not a law of nature, then. Not like hot always goes to cold. Not a law of nature. Not always occurring. Not universally down, then.
This devolves into a screaming match for those who don't know. It gets pretty good. If you're like, this is boring, just wait, just wait, just wait.
Yeah, well, helium balloon's not a solid.
Yeah, so what?
Filled with gas.
Yeah, if it was, it would be going down as opposed to the light. G+, please. Please.
Nathan, my egg was solid.
That's a good point.
Didn't go down, right?
Right. Buoyancy. He's talking about the experiment where you take, I forget if it's like an old egg or a cooked egg versus a uncooked egg, and one floats in the water and one sinks. I don't remember. Either way, it's about density and buoyancy.
Well, it went down at first.
I would still ask here.
What was the egg on the ceiling?
Are we comfortable saying that?
No. Does air get less dense?
Hold on. What's happening, Elijah? Elijah, what's happening is Nathan's now rumpusing because of cognitive dissonance. So, to be a natural law by false analogy, right? You're saying, well, natural laws don't go through the scientific method. No, they're just descriptions of things that occur always. Is down always, Nathan? Or just always except when it's not always, therefore not law of nature?
Helium balloons are still being pulled by gravity, but the buoyant force, or whatever buoyancy is called when it's dealing with fluids that aren't liquid, like gases, it might be a different concept. The force pushing the balloon upward is stronger than that is pulling it downward.
By false equivalence you used.
So gravity is still at play, it's just not pulling it down hard enough to actually pull it to the ground at that moment in time.
I'm rumpusing the show, Nathan.
That's a distraction technique that Rumpus would also use. Yes, you are. But deflection in this instance. Deflecting away from my question. You juxtapose natural law not going through scientific method, now you're rumpusing me, with the assertion that their side of the argument with the downward vector is valid and worth arguing over. I got you to the stage where we are establishing that it is definitely not a law of nature that we always have a downward vector. Now you're asking me whether or not you're rumpusing. No, you're deflecting. So definitely not a law of nature as juxtaposed by you then, Nathan Thompson.
Oh, okay, so
listening to idiots fight is both entertaining and frustrating in just the worst way.
When you pick up solid objects that were on the floor and release them, they don't always go down, Nathan?
What, when I take them out of equilibrium, will they return from whence they came? Yeah, equally, if I pull a balloon off the ceiling, it will go up. So not universally down, Nathan. You're still yet to concede this point.
Just relax, Nathan.
Well, okay. When I'm dealing with somebody that doesn't want to concede that they are incorrect, that we do not have a law of nature comparison here. It's not always down, Nathan. You just yet to concede that.
We haven't gotten to the crux of the argument, Nathan.
That is the argument. The argument is there a universal down, Nathan? That's the argument. Very simple. No, there isn't.
With solids.
With solids? So not universal, then? So not universal, then, Nathan? Are you dumb?
Yes. Yes, he is. In fact, you both are, but that...
Universal, then? Only applicable to solids? So absolutely unequivocally not universal, then? Not a law of nature? Not universally down? How simplistic do you want me to put it? The argument is there a universal down? The answer is no.
Triggered.
But not even then, because you can drop a solid from the bottom of a pool and it'll go up too, so...
Well, just to clarify, it's like the elastic velocity or elastic energy of gas is way, 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 way stronger than electrostatics. It's just my point here, at least I can only speak for me, right? My point is the electrostatics is always at play because everything that has any matter is electrostatic, and the Earth is also electrostatic and actually negative, and that's why we have lightning, et cetera, et cetera. So you can't just say it's not part of the equation. That would be dishonest, but at the same time, almost impossible to validate. You can't get outside of the Earth.
What is this? What are you on about? What is this electrostatic non sequitur? The fact that we have to constantly look at this stuff.
This dumpster fire.
Do you want to do this? Are you all morons?
Ad hom.
Sorry, are you a moron? Is the balloon going down, Witsit?
Yes, we are.
Is the balloon biased downwards?
Are you serious, bro? That's how you're gonna
Shut
run
up,
the show
Nathan.
today?
I'm talking to Witsit.
Well, what I'm saying is, you see, the bias is so incredibly weak that the.
So it's not a bias down! What bias? The downward one the balloon's not experiencing? Third time, Witsit.
Yeah, they're right. The gas isn't going to go down. Gas.
So there is not a downward bias!
Well, you would.
No, not well! There's no downward bias, you clown! You've just admitted it! Why are you in cognitive dissonance over this, Witsit?
This kind of reminds me of when I was an asshole teenager in school, and you would wind up a teacher to the point where they would fucking explode, and then the whole class would be like...
Your hand wave dismissing the electrostatics, dude.
What, the non sequitur fallacy you introduced that I immediately demolished as a non sequitur fallacy?
I think you'll find that's a fallacy, you fallacious phallus.
Wait, how's it non sequitur? I thought that was the
So
whole
the
argument.
balloon goes
The whole
down?
argument.
Sorry, the electrostatics make the balloon go down, or is this non sequitur?
The electrostatics are way weaker, right?
Are they making the balloon go down? Are you deaf?
No,
So non sequitur then!
Nathan, you're gonna give yourself an answer.
Nathan, shut up, I'm not going to ask you again. I'm going to absolutely teabag Witsit for his dumb fuckery. So this electrostatic is not giving the balloon a downward bias, is it?
No.
No! That's right, Witsit, you clown! So what are you babbling about?
Because once again, you just whistle past this.
You just stutter for me like the rest of the fundies with their belief in gravity. There is not a downward bias, clown.
Oh, us goddamn fundamentalists believing in checks notes, gravity. My notes look suspiciously like a D&D character sheet.
Okay, but yeah.
Okay! Now enjoy the taste of my nuts, you flat earth fundy. There's no downward bias.
Dismissing your hand.
Dismiss what?
What is it with this guy and teabagging people? He said the same thing about,
Check out Irish Demon if you want. I'm gonna skim through his parts, but he is funny. I think he's on the channel Irish Demon Reloaded now because he got demonetized on his first channel.
Doesn't go down, you idiot! Are you thick?
I'm coming for you, Irish Demon. I own the word reloaded. You'll be hearing from my lawyers.
One claimed it did. That's a strong.
Oh, right. I'm claiming a downward bias of the balloon and no one's claiming it. You are. You stuttering, double-speaking, cognitive dissonance-laden fundy.
Matters inherent. Every compilation of matters inherently electrostatic.
And that's got anything to do with the balloon going down? Fourth time circle jerking this shit in a row?
I never said the balloon went down.
Again with the sexual references. I mean,
this
comment.
It doesn't go down! Are you dumb?
It does, dude.
Oh, it does? Oh, balloons go down, go boom with a single vector of downward, do they?
No, the balloon.
No, that's right, you unbelievable buffoon. They do not have a bias down, regardless of your non sequitur shite about electrostatic non-forces. Hello, not going down, not bias down. Are you getting this?
I'm getting you're whistling past my argument. You're not even addressing it. You're pretending.
What, the non sequitur of electrostatic forces that you assert that have a influence on the downward bias we don't see in the balloon. Non sequitur, you clown.
Equilibrium that's sought is inherently electrostatic. This is objective.
Oh, and the equilibrium for the balloon is down, like your bias.
No, it's not.
No, that's the taste of my nuts. Are you dumb? No, not downward bias, mate.
Anthony, I suggest.
Okay.
So there is no.
Was explaining is just because
He
there's
just
a
goes on
bias.
shouting for a very long time. I'm not going to subject you guys to the rest of Here's a link if you want to look at the rest of it, though. It's Irish Demon's channel. Again, I think he posts to Irish Demon Reloaded now. Mostly. I'll give you that, too, since I used his footage. Hello, what you doing?
Getting stuck on the door. I made a vector map.
Oh, great.
For any flat earthers. Can you turn the camera to so I can see it? Okay. So, friends. This, which I learned in college level physics, is a vector map. So we have a helium balloon, and we have Earth, and we have space. So what's happening is we have gravitational force of the Earth, which is very small. Then we have a bunch of helium atoms bouncing around super, 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 super fast inside this balloon. The air around here in space has less energetic atoms bouncing around, so the helium can go up. So all of these, I can't do the backwards pointing thing. All of these atoms, they're bouncing around super, super fast, and cumulatively, they make the up vector super large in comparison to the downward gravitational vector. So basically, all these atoms, I hate this. I can't do the backwards thing. All these atoms create an upward force. And they're able to overcome all of the atoms in the air because those ones are less, you know, energetic. These ones are more energetic.
What about the downward bias, Baha?
It's very tiny. Gravity is acting on it in a very small way compared to the upward force. So, if we wanted to calculate the force of this vector, the upward force, we would take this arrow and subtract the force of this arrow. We would see that the upward force is a lot greater.
Daddy Sume says, so there is no downward bias! Baja blasts on the bingo card also. Overthought says, I sucked in helium. Did my voice go down, Nathan? It doesn't go down, you idiot! Hearing someone tell Nathan to shut up gives purple nickel life. That's not how science works? Sure. Gus0936, thanks for following. Von Tuck says, I need a Not Universal Down t-shirt now. And that catches us up.
It's like saying that because I'm able to lift this can up.
The can of Dr. Pepper beans.
I wish this was sponsored. Because I can lift this can up. Does that mean that there is no gravity? No. It means this can is being pulled down by gravity, but my hand is stopping it. There is a force pulling this can down equal to the force that I am lifting it up right now. But if I increase that force, I can lift the can up because my force that I'm adding to the equation is overcoming the gravity. So if I just stay stationary, these forces are at equilibrium. The force at which the gravity is pulling down on my hand in the can, and the force at which I am holding this up against gravity. They're at equilibrium. But I can add some kinetic energy and lift this up. I am expelling energy to do this. My body respirates, helps me produce ATP through glycolysis, And I can use that energy, my voice cracked, I can use that energy to put it into this equation, to add some force into this equation, to overcome gravity. Jesus fucking Christ, it's so simple.
Daddy Sume says, yes, it does, Baha. It means there is no bias. That is the upward bias.
If things are staying still.
We
I don't care. I know you guys know. This is for the fucking flat earthers.
They'll never
that
see
watch
this video. They'll never
Bite
see
me.
Love you. Elena Mayfield, thanks for subscribing at tier 1. Oh, don't rip it.
Well, you don't seem to appreciate my work that I put in. So.
I do. Daddy Sume says, God made everything, so it doesn't matter. God did it. God made you do that. God made the earth flat. I appreciate that you labeled space.
I also labeled Earth. What do you want from me?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna raid someone.
Oh, also, just FYI, I'm getting a PhD in genetics, not physics. So this was based on what I learned in my really fucking hard physics class in college.
What the fuck are Dr. Pepper baked beans? They're baked beans that are marinated in Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I mislabeled the firmament, but also I made the Earth curved, so I did that wrong too.
Daddy Sume says, you mean she labeled the firmament? Windchanter says, get this bitch a cannon, bitches. Love cannons. Giftanoid, thank you for subscribing. Oh god, now we're doing a hype train. I can't end yet. We're on a hype train.
Von Tug says, if you pay her $1,000, she'll eat them on stream.
That's true. That's true. Now we gotta find something to watch during the hype train. Bits for hype, says RTK142 with 20 bits. Solin52 with 21 bits. Vast Lunacy. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Vast Lunacy, thank you for gifting 20 tier 1 subs to the community. That's the most subs we've gotten all at once in a long time. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Daddy Sume says, Hannah, did you see the stream Jake did eating the Dr. Pepper beans? It was so gross. No, I didn't see it. We're already at 115% of level 5, so we just gotta ride this one out. MW1642, thanks for 100 bits.
If someone ever pays Hannah to eat these, the $1,000, I can have a bite too, because they're vegan.
Good to know. Pyromancer says 2 times level 5 hypes. I know, we got 2 level 5 hype trains today, dang.
I will probably absolutely dislike them, because number one, I don't like Dr. Pepper. I hadn't had it until I started dating Hannah, and she gave me a sip. And it was absolutely the most vile thing I've ever tasted. It tasted like medicine.
It's 23 flavors.
And I also absolutely hate the taste of molasses. I think that that's because it's iron rich, molasses is, and I hate the smell of iron.
Because of the mouse stuff you do, or did that predate the...
No, it predated. Okay. Predated. I hate it.
Kierthin says, my fiance is playing D&D on Norman Bellows' stream tonight. Nice. Excessive Observer, thanks for 100 bits. Ashley Annie 67, thanks for subscribing for 3 months. Says, yas, 3 months. Hope I haven't missed much this time. Pyromancer says, cola is the worst type of soda. Don't at me. I'll at you. You're wrong. Purple Nickel says, can we get one last look at the bingo card? I'm one space away. Sure. Vast Lunacy with 100 bits says, thanks for the science lesson, Baha. Von Tuck says, I had a dog named Molasses. I doubt he tasted good either. Probably true. Okay, let's see. We had reptoids, aliens, ancient wisdom, flat earth, thinly veiled anti-Semitism, expert has ridiculous title, satanic, microchips, my research said not by a researcher, spurious symbology is evidence. That's what we had.
Hey, I like Verner's.
Comme ça vous disait tantôt, Lagby.
Not my favorite.
This is 11 minutes.
I said soda! You're rubbing off of me! It's not my favorite pop!
Soda!
You cannot.
Soda! Soda!
No, you cannot get rid of my Michigan.
Gooble gobble, gooble gobble, one of us, one of us. No? Don't get that reference? Okay.
It's pop.
Soda.
It's pop, you freak. You're a Michigander. Act like it.
No, that's the last thing I want to do. I don't want people to know I'm from the Florida of the North. Purple Nickel says, bingo, I got bingo. How do I do it? Send me a link to your bingo card. Gooble gobble, gooble.
No.
One of us. One of us.
I say hi to the people.
Hi. History Chick 96 with 20 bits says, soda!
It's pop.
It's not. Purple Nickel, send me a link to your bingo card.
Should we go down to the party store and get some Faygo?
Gonna go get some Faygo, eh?
Yeah.
Gonna scooch right past you and go get some Faygo.
Oh, let me scooch right past
And
you
then
there.
maybe we can stop and get some Coney dogs. Reptoids, that's
as
what I was
long
saying.
as they're Flint conies and not Detroit conies.
Purple Nickel wins.
And they have to be Kogel hot dogs.
Gotta get some Kogels and spat spread.
That's a Saginaw thing.
I know.
Spat spread.
Well, I'm from Saginaw, so.
Spats.
Do you see my
And I'm from
notebook?
Flint. So we ate Kogels. No, I don't know where your notebook is. You always lose it.
Google gobble.
Look under your...
I have a Word document I can put Purple Nickel's name on. Daddy Sume says, I got the original source of that reference, Hannah. Freak Show. It's actually called Freaks. It's called Freaks. Good try, though. Eldriel, thank you for subscribing with Prime. Pyromancer says, sodium bicarbonate, baha. Comrade Devin says, you should raid, Alealex. She's a trans girl, leftist streamer watching spoopy videos. Give me a link. I gotta write down Purple Nickel's name. Hold on.
We're gonna go cuddle.
Yeah. You also gotta watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Saved.
Yes, cuddle. Actual cuddle.
2007 to be opened in 20 years' time. And I started thinking about YouTube and about how we all post on here anyway. How great would it be if we start...
Alright, we're gonna do the raid. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate the hype trains. I'll be back tomorrow to do Sovereign Citizen Sunday or something similar.
And what was important to us in 2007. So,
Trying to see when the Best Buy date on these beans are.
YouTube.
We have until
The Amazing Time
2023.
Capsule,
We can find someone crazy enough to give me $1,000 in the next
Louise Paxton.
3 years.
Where
3
you are.
years. 2 years.
I'm in my flat in London.
Yeah.
And show
Bye,
us,
everyone.
Have a good night.
An object which means 2007 to you. I'm going to start with my object, which is the newspaper, just because it has the date on it. So Wednesday, 16th of May,
When I, if
2007.
my friends take over,
It
you
could
go to
be
Gulag.
that you just had a baby and you want your baby to be able to log